And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content and Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love, and amazing designers find great players who love their games. We do that in a lot of different ways, but my favorite one is to sit down with those designers and play their games, which is what we are doing tonight. We are playing Spectres of Brocken with creator Aaron Lim. Aaron, so glad to have you back. As always glad to have you as a player. Always excited to sit down and play one of your games. Why don't you tell us about the one we're going to be playing tonight?
Yeah. Thanks, Tony. Happy to be here again. This is Spectres of Brocken. It is a game about making friends and then going to war against them in giant robots years later. I've also pitched it as like a bit more poetically as it's a game about the tragedy and tyranny of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make young trainee mech pilots. We're gonna get to know each other, get to know ourselves, It's a GM-less game, and you use a system that's kind of loosely based on belonging, outside belonging, or like the no dice, no master system, to kind of like lock in our traits and figure out who we are, and then we do a time skip to years later, where it's now that a war has broken out, and we find ourselves on different sides, possibly, and fighting each other in custom mechs that reflect how we've changed and want to impose our will on the world in the future. So that's it.
I am super excited about all of the things you just said. I love the premise of this game. I'm super excited about it. It is coming to Kickstarter soon. You can go check out the playable beta over on Aaron's itch page right down below, which will link you out to the Kickstarter. The link is also in the description of this video if you're watching now or later for the most part. So go check it out and hit follow if you can. We'll drop the link in the chat as we go a couple times as well. Before we get to know our characters, let's get to know our other players. Coming back again, somebody who I miss peeking my head through a curtain and saying good morning to, that's Adam Bell. We got to hang out at Gen Con a few weeks ago. I'm in withdrawal, but it's good to have you back playing on stream with us. Why don't you tell us a little about who you are, what you do, where folks can find you online?
Yeah, my name's Adam Bell. I make games. I used to talk about games like every week on the internet. Maybe I'll do that again soon. You can get my games at adamebell.games. They're good. Check them out.
I do. I like them. I was super excited to hear Kyle just randomly when I was listening to a podcast the other day start talking about Grasping Nettles. It was super fun, which you can go watch us play way back, check out the review of, or just go buy and play it.
Just buy it blind.
Yeah.
You won't regret it.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Awesome. And then joining us for the first time on a stream, first time on this stream, we've got Kit. Kit, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online?
Hi, I'm Kit. I am a tabletop nerd and actor, cosplayer, etc., etc. You can find me a lot of places, but I'm most active on Twitter at KitRollCause. And yeah, I'm just super stoked to be here.
Awesome. I am super excited. Looking at a couple different level things. Adam, can you tweak your audio down just a touch because you are a little bit louder than everybody else, which is generally not a problem. I just want to make sure for our viewing audience that they don't have to ride the audio dial.
My gain knob is twitchy, so if I went too far,
that was very good. That put you right about where everybody else was, which may mean that some people are like, "Oh, now I have to turn things up." But if they do, they can do that. That's a thing people can do. You're right in the yellow. It looks great. You did a great job with that. With that said, we use a couple different tools here on stream to help keep our game on track and make sure that everybody who's joining us for the first time or who's just joining in with a new group is comfortable with the content we're going through. There's our lines, veils, the X card, and the open door policy, unless the system that we're using dictates other safety tools. Lines are things that may happen in the world of the game or the universe that we're playing in, but they do not happen in the course of our play of it. They are off limits. Veils are things that may happen in the course of play, but we handle them within a specific context only. We may fade to dark, move forward, just touch on them lightly or only address them within a certain capacity. And then the X card is the ability for anybody to say X, pause the game. They can also type it in to the chat over on Discord to let the rest of us know, hey, we need to pause. Here's something that I want us to talk about. And then we may remove that item from play and move forward in a different direction. But they also just may need clarity on a situation, other things like that. It's a good just way to pause the game, figure out what's going on, and then move forward in a way that everybody's comfortable with. We also have an open door policy, which means you may see us eat, drink, need to talk to somebody off screen, take a break, step away from for a little bit. Any and all of those things are normal because we're normal-ish human beings, and hopefully you are also. If you are not, that's okay. But if you are, take care of yourself also. Do those things when you need to. With that said, we have a strong line against sexual violence and sexual coercion on the channel. Does anybody have any other lines or veils that they want to add? Cool. We also did talk about a little bit about teenage romance, how we're going to potentially approach that if it comes up and play beforehand. Also, too, Aaron, anything else we want people to know about the game other than giant mechs?
No. I think we can get into it.
Awesome.
As I say.
Even though it's a GM-less game, I'm going to hand things over to you to walk us through getting set up in the game.
Yeah. So, just to kind of like save a bit of time, so usually you can kind of like come up with your own setting. There's like some setup questions to help you define those. But in the interest of getting up and running as quickly as possible, this isn't in the preview PDF, but it will be in the full game. There are three like starter world seeds, like starter play sets for you to just quickly get started. So there'll be a brief description, some example NPC or pilot or NPC names, stuff like that, just to get you started. So I'm just gonna read the starter text for that, just to give a vibe for where we are. Today we're using the Orbital Century starter seed, which is space. So humanity has successfully reached beyond Earth's gravity. Giant orbital colonies have been set up in our solar system, where a new generation of people live and die. They chafe under the governance of old terrestrial governments as new identities are formed. Mechs were designed to aid the construction and maintenance of these orbital colonies, with dreams of using them to help us reach beyond our solar system and find habitable new planets. However, conflict is brewing between the Earth sphere and the colonies. More and more mechs are being refitted for peacekeeping purposes by governments, even as their use by builders and factories become ever more regulated. Rumors circulate about nascent rebellions in problem colonies, and the whispers of war are on the wind. We've also decided to zoom in a little bit there on the kind of like stellar exploration part of it. So we're going to start off, our academy is going to be a kind of like joint training program between the Earthsphere, the colonies, and the megacorps, to kind of like train up a new expeditionary force to go out and survey habitable planets and see which ones are suitable for expansion. And that comes with a mix of people from military and civilian backgrounds. And since everyone on the expedition needs to be like fairly skilled, or at least know how to pilot a mech for like maintenance, or just like think of like Ripley having to use the power loader like in Aliens, right? Everyone needs to at least know how to pilot something similar to that for their work on the exploration vessel. And I think what we've settled on is that everyone's at least 18, if not slightly older. So this game will skew a little bit older than like the school academy kind of vibe that you might want to go for. But yeah, so that's where we are at. And based on that, we should start creating some pilots. Excuse me. So pilot creation is pretty simple. You just each pilot starts off with a name, just a description. You can pick a theme song if you want now, to kind of help you like guide what your pilot's going to be, or you can make your pilot and pick a theme song later. And then in terms of like what you need to do to like flesh out the pilot, you only need to select one out of the four traits. So there's conviction, impulse, potential, or flaw. So just pick one of them and either choose from the list. There's a table on the mirror board as well that lists some example pilot traits that you could choose, or you can make one up yourself. And then once you've got that, then we'll introduce our pilots to each other, and then we will pick bonds between. So you just need to pick one bond between your pilot and another pilot, and then we'll do a link as well. So the difference between bonds and links is bonds are always between pilots, and links are relationships that you might have with NPCs or just to like different parts of the world. Like for example, a link you might have is that you are like for example, you might put yourself as like a Earth Federation employee, right? Like you know, just a link that declares that, hey, this is where my faction allegiance lies at the start of the game, or just like, hey, I'm from this asteroid colony, you know, that's my home. Yeah, so stuff like that.
Cool.
Any questions?
I don't think I have any because I just answered the one I had, which was where is the list of sample traits, and I just found it on the Miro board. So
Yeah.
I think I am good, and so we can kind of walk through all that together. Also, chat if you want to tell us what your mech's name is and what your mech's theme song would be. You should go ahead and do that in the chat right now. I'm also going to need some theme song inspiration because, as we've talked about numerous times on stream, the part of my brain that takes in music the same way that other people's do doesn't work right. I'm a broken individual, and so I always love a good suggested theme song from other people. But yeah, tell us your mech's name and your theme song, also too. Cool. So we want to walk through it. You said we're gonna pick a character name, right?
Yeah.
And mech name?
So,
Or mech
no.
name?
So leave the mech name, call sign, all of that. We'll see how our characters end up at the end of the academy phase.
Great.
I mean, if you have an idea, just put it there. But don't don't lock it in.
Yeah, that makes sense. I won't think about it if we don't have to.
Yeah, and the thing about this the academy phase is that, like, you only fill in one of the 4 traits because as we play, we will be filling out the rest of the traits. Like, academy phase is kind of like playing through character creation.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. It's a very involved life path creation.
Very involved. I like the fact that you can die in character creation. If you imagine that you did, and then you just start a new character. There's no actual mechanical way to do that, but I like that you just can't decide.
Yeah. So what might be good is just like pick a trait that like calls out to you, and then just kind of like base your initial character around that.
Yeah, let's look at those.
I prefer starting with flaws.
And you said we're gonna just pick one of those, right? So we're either gonna pick.
Yeah.
Are we picking one from each of them, or just
No,
one?
just one.
Just one out of the 4 different types of things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like starting with flaws. Going with like arrogant or coward. It's a good one to just like get kicked off on. I might go arrogant.
These are all very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to go off script and do gullible as my flaw.
Ooh.
I like.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. I want to do a flaw, but I've been, as always, putting far too much thought into this, and I really just want to play an engineer.
Yeah, just go for it.
It's okay. They'll find their flaws as we go, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there will be many.
Man, Adam, you're so good at Miro boards. Look how you've angled your thing. I'll never be that good at Miro boards.
There's just a little, you know,
Give it a little something, you know, get a
It's
little
just like
zest.
a little rotator guy.
I prefer to think that it's outside of my reach. Nope. I started drawing a line.
See, I'm not the only one. Just wanna draw.
All right.
I want to do that too. All right, I got an angled one as well. So yeah,
Okay, well,
so
now I got
all
it.
you need to do is fill in the trait, and figure out your looks, details, and theme song.
Oh, I gotta angle mine too. It's fine. I'll be one of the cool kids.
God, I think I'll be the military brat.
Yes. Would love to see it. All right, and so those details, do those have to be like physical traits or just like the vibe?
Yeah, it can just be a vibe, just to
Cool, cool, cool,
give
cool,
an
cool,
idea
cool,
of
cool, cool.
who your character is.
Nice. Got it.
Yeah, like one of mine is fingers that love to point. Which is
It's very evocative though.
right.
I love that.
Which is 100% also me thinking about like in an anime when they do like weird forced perspective stuff with bodies, especially limbs and stuff. So I mean, Aaron, I'm trying to hang with your cool anime knowledge, even though I just do whatever my teenage kids are like. Dad, watch this anime. Watch 5 seasons of this anime with me.
It's very very fine line between cool anime knowledge and cursed anime knowledge.
It's most types of knowledge, I feel.
Do we want to throw pilot pronouns also? Maybe
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
names
put
or
them-
something?
Not a
Put them with your
bad
name.
idea.
I assume we're going to be
at all.
referring to each other a lot. so-
It's a good idea. If only I could. There we go. I do like Adam that you have dewy-eyed as your nickname, not as a physical description. Makes me very happy. All right.
All right. So everyone, just let me know once everyone's ready. Then we can do some introductions.
Yeah, I got to think of a theme song. But other than that, I'm ready.
I'll go basic, super basic.
I want to know what
didn't mean to
super.
do that.
I want to know what super basic is before I.
Danger zone.
Danger zone. Excellent.
Oh no. Okay, lock this. I'm not gonna move that. Danger zone's canny logins, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, if I'm gonna play a hotshot, like, pilot cadet,
Right.
it's gotta be.
It's just got to blast the Kenny Loggins.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Cursed. Song name's too long.
I'm just sneaking over to everybody else's and seeing what cooler songs than mine they picked out.
I'll figure out who actually sings the theme song that I'm thinking of, because
Adam, I'm gonna need you to sing a few bars of that song. I'm not familiar with it.
I need to turn the gain down a little bit, I think. Or step away from the mic.
I mean, that's mic technique when you're yelling is to, you gotta back off and lean back.
See.
there we go. Nice.
All right.
Oh, these names slap.
Just Win is pretty good.
Just Win is so choice.
It's very excellent.
I actually know someone that's just win, so
It's a good name.
Make sure the next time you see them, say, "Hey, everybody loves your name." They're all real into
can
it.
you imagine being named that? You'd be like, oh man, just like so much pressure.
You have one choice.
He was very smart as well, so it's like a
Mhm.
self-fulfilling prophecy. What do you call it? There's a term for it, right? Like when someone's name matches their profession or something.
Nominal determinism.
There it is.
And so I have a friend who's a priest whose last name is Parrish.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
Nice.
my dad had a colleague who was a heart surgeon, who's a cardiac surgeon whose last name was Hart. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Were we all set?
Yeah,
Think
I am
so.
ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody really excited to introduce us to their character?
Yeah. I'll go first, I guess, since we already mentioned the name, and then we can do name reveals as we go.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll be playing Justin Elva Dyson, pronouns are he, him. He's an ace cadet, transferred over to this program from the Air Force, from the Earth Federation. He wears a bomber jacket, even though it's an antique, right? Like no one wears these anymore. Like even nowadays, it's
Purely fashion.
yeah, it's purely fashion. He has sunglasses on him at all times, whether it's like on the top of his head or like tucked into like his pockets. And he just barely meets the minimum height requirements for a pilot. He's got short king energy. Like do not look down on me, because his flaw is that he's arrogant. He just thinks he is the best there is, and everyone else, is just fighting for second place. I went like I said, I went basic and picked a danger song, the Danger Zone as my theme song. Yeah, that's him. I think he's probably slightly older than everyone else. He's probably like 20, 19. I don't know how old everyone else. So he's around 19, 20. Yeah.
Cool. Love it. I can go next. So I've got Slice Rexon, he, they, Cocky grin, kind of a long, lean build, slightly wider shoulders. Like I said, fingers that love to point, like a lot of strong articulated gestures. I don't know how dystopian we're going. They're definitely corporate sponsored, and it definitely was like it's definitely a hard fought for like manipulative position to like weasel your way into. So like the immediate assumption by everybody is like if somebody gets a corporate like if is it sponsored by a corporate entity to join this place, that they are in some way, shape, or form either very good or very manipulative, and it's oftentimes unclear which one until you start to engage with that person. So I picked theme song Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar.
Yes, excellent.
And your potential.
My potential is find
Are
their
we doing
weakness.
Yeah.
Do that. Oh yeah,
Great.
because I don't think Aaron did theirs. Do you want to say yours, Aaron?
Oh yeah, mine's arrogant.
Arrogant. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Tony, just for clarity, potentials are usually like skills.
Cool.
So do you want this to be a skill?
Oh, I may have just put it in the wrong spot. Is it
Yeah.
impulse that I pulled it from? What did I pull it from?
Yeah.
Their weakness. Yeah, I believe that's an
It's
impulse.
usually an impulse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just
Legally
put it in the wrong
speaking.
spot. I just put it in the wrong spot.
No, it's okay. You could frame it as a potential.
No,
right?
no,
Like, so-
definitely just put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
That's my impulse.
what-
My impulse
that's what he
is
wants
find
us
their
to think.
weakness. That's what I want you to think.
Mhm.
All right, Adam, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm playing Dewy-Eyed Sprig Firkin. He's a short guy, but he's somehow very lanky. He's often adjacent to trouble. And he's wearing usually wearing a jean jacket and a purple, like a frumpy purple baseball cap. His theme song is "How Can I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by the Highway" by Kenny Hoopla. And he's very gullible as a flaw.
Love it.
Excellent. Dewy-eyed is so joyous.
All right.
Alrighty. I will be playing Elliot Graves. Any pronouns are good. They do not care whatsoever. Their defining feature is just this cloud of like bright red, not ginger, like red. It's more of a shape than a texture, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's just big, curly, long, bright red hair. Love it. We're all playing like skinny, lanky kings, and I love that. He's just kind of just uncomfortably angular as a person. And somehow he's always watching from the sidelines while the trouble's happening. He's not involved in it, just watching. Just like always happens to be there, but like you can't pin it on him. How would you? And just a fun point of order, he does wear bilateral hearing aids. Super fun. His theme song, "Waking Up the Giants" by Grisfolk. Love it. What a banger. And his potential, engineer. This fool has been in coding forever.
Love it.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
I already like that so there's the trouble, and then right next to the trouble is Sprig, and then a little bit further away, Elliot is.
It's just like, interesting.
Like invariably a shot in the opening scene of this anime was my character and Aaron's character kind of fighting with each other, whether it's a serious thing or just a playful thing, then fading back just a little bit, seeing a purple hat, and then fading back a little bit, and we just see that the camera is in the eyes of Elliot watching it all happen.
Cool. All right. So based on that, maybe we should go in the same order again. We should all create one bond with another pilot. So a bond is a relationship that your pilot deems important. It will be linked to another pilot, but as long as both pilots agree to it. If you want to establish a relationship with a non-pilot, you should use links instead. When you write a bond, describe it in the form of a desire, something that you want from or for the other party that they won't or can't give you just yet. So friendship, love, recognition, support, trust, revenge, truth, protection, forgiveness, respect, power, influence. I think I I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have a bond with Sprig. I don't know. Just this isn't this isn't a good bond, I think.
When you say good, you mean like it's not a healthy bond, or you mean?
I mean, this bond that I'm about to write is going to be excellent, but
I think I think Justin wants influence over Sprig, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Justin is looking for a lackey, essentially, right? Someone
Right.
Excellent.
who, do things for them. If that's okay with you, Adam.
Yeah, no, I like that because when I like my thoughts on often adjacent to trouble is like I'm helping encourage the troublemakers so I can enjoy the time, but like never actually doing the stuff. So you kind of want me to do the stuff is a pretty good angle to start playing with. So we go into Slice next.
yeah. Pardon me. I think I'm gonna hop over to Elliot. I think Slice wants to. I think Slice wants to draw Elliot out. Like, I don't necessarily know that I
Okay.
want friendship. I don't necessarily know that I want friendship from you. But I feel like what I want from you is for you to engage with the rest of us.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if that's the best framing for that, if we can tighten it up a little bit. I think the way you presented Elliot is like very standoff, like not necessarily bookish, but like like somebody who's doing their own work. And is
Yeah,
not
no, they're definitely
necessarily-
like holed up in the computers, like
Um,
happy to watch from the sidelines. So that's really cool, actually.
I think there is a level at which this is like this probably takes the form of subtle sabotage a whole lot of like, oh, your project isn't working out, just come be with us. Like, it's the veneer of this is a really good thing, but also it's frustrating the efforts of you. So I think I'm just going to go
100%.
with to draw you out is going to be what I want. And we can see where that I think goes in play.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. How about Dewy-eyed?
I'm trying to think. I'm probably gonna go to Slice because then we can get a nice web being weaved here.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think about. So you're trying to, the fact that you're trying to draw Elliot out kind of implies that Slice is doing stuff. And I'm trying to think of how to do like maybe not share like something about like sharing the spotlight or something similar to that. I think it's the conky grin that's drawing me to that. But does that sound like?
Tell me a little bit more about what
Like-
you're thinking. I'm not opposed to that at all.
Like it's almost like I want to want to like do the stuff, whatever it is that you're doing that is like maybe flashy, maybe a little bit troublesome to the higher ups. I want to like be more involved than I am because I've sat on the sidelines, like not on the sidelines, but I've been adjacent too much. Like let's start.
So
Start
you
working on
it's
it.
like you want recognition?
Maybe that
You
could
want-
be. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
Slice to recognize that could. That's not a bad one. I want.
What's
I
the
want,
are you
opposite of like a protege?
Right. Are you
What's like the
You want like a mentor?
yeah, you want like a mentor for like being like getting in trouble.
maybe not a mentor. I think what I've had is I've been kind of like paying attention to how to have fun like that. And what I want is to now graduate from getting in trouble school.
It's like recognition.
You want
from
yeah,
like
you
from
want, you
your
want-
mentor.
You want recognition. Like you want somebody to look at you and be like, oh, this is somebody else who also gets up to stuff, right? Like you,
Right, yeah.
You want like I am kind of out and obviously a troublemaker a little bit. Like I'm a little bit snarky, a little bit cocky, and
Pointing.
you want people to look at you and see that same kind of like glow.
Right, yeah.
Cool.
I want to feel like you're one of us. You're like you're graduating to the big leagues, kid.
But it sounds like you want recognition, and
Yeah, I think when recognition was said, I think that nails it.
Heck yeah.
Cool. All right. Elliot.
Oh Lord. Okay. I think let's make things a little bit complicated, shall we? I think Elliot sees Sprig getting into this, like starting to get into this trouble, and is like, I want to keep this guy safe. I don't want you getting into all this trouble. Like we're here for a reason. We're here to do to learn and do good stuff. And I'm like, you're fine. You're fine on the side. You don't have to go climb the flagpole. You don't have to. It's fine. So I don't know if that comes in the form of like trust or support. I think they want support. It doesn't have to come from them, but they want support for Sprig. To make good decisions, be a good egg.
Yeah.
Adam, that puts you at the middle of a lot of relational tensions. Like, interestingly, like I think fun
is
ones
that
to
okay?
explore. Are you good with that? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
I totally
Okay.
trust you to carry it. I just want to make sure you're good with it.
So I worded mine. I want to get recognition from Slice and the recognition Slice gets from others.
Love it.
Ooh.
Sweet. All right, Aaron. What are we looking at next?
Okay, last bit of character creation is to just set up a link, which is a relationship you have to the world at large. It could be to a specific person. So I've set mine up to be to a person, but like it represents like kind of like your initial like worldview, like colors how you interact with the world. It should be something that like you have a strong feeling about. I guess preview. Spoiler alert, links are stuff that get destroyed in the war. So you should put stuff in there that like would really hurt you if you lost them.
Excellent.
So that's why I say like if you want to put like, hey, this excuse me, like your home colony, or my example, I'm gonna make a link to an NPC. I think the program I'm in, like Jasmine is a flyboy. Like if things if this opportunity wasn't available, he would definitely be in like stay in the Air Force and eventually go into like the mech like squadrons, like fighting against like the uprisings in the different rebel colonies. But he's here because he looks up to the the captain that's been kind of like one of the leaders of this expedition. So I look up to the captain. I think her official role is actually just security chief for the mission. But she has a rank of captain. Milia, who was the hero of the Shoal uprising, which means I envision the Shoal is like probably like a bunch of like early like smaller prototype colonies closer to Earth. They were the first ones to rebel, and then got brutally put down and are the strongest supporters of the Federation. Yeah.
Sweet. I love it. I put the sponsorship and financial support of Zero Ray Corp. And so the company that sponsored me for the academy that that I owe essentially a debt to. I am responsible to them. They also will own my actions for a little while after I graduate. But that comes with a, like, if we're flashing through dorm rooms, like my dorm room is obviously slightly more opulent. Like I got the weird corner dorm room that somehow is 2 dorm rooms that no one's supposed to get, but somehow I did. Like I got that one. Who knows how that could have happened. And I do think, like, I actually, like, most of the time in a like jumpsuit that has like Zero Ray Corps logo like on the background. Yeah. Adam, what do we see for Dewy Eyed?
I'm trying to come up with a name for a professor that. This one rolls out to the top of my head, so let me just type it so that I get it right in my head. Yeah, so Professor Estuary, trying to think of the sentence, but basically Professor Estuary inspired in me this like fascination and hope for like sort of terraforming activities. So like I'm looking forward to our first expedition, basically, where I can put the professor's teachings to work. But the link I want to do is directly to the professor.
Sure.
So maybe Professor Estuary's exuberance for terraforming and agriculture inspires me. Inspires me to the stars.
Love it. All right.
Is it me, Chief?
I think so.
Alrighty. So I've decided I have a kid brother. And his name is Raleigh, and I adore the heck out of this kid. He's probably a couple years behind us, hasn't made it to the academy yet, but he wants to. But he wants to be on like the dangerous side and do like actual pilot stuff. And so I like my goal is to, make the world good enough that he doesn't have to do that. That's probably not going to happen. But I will protect this kid with my life 100%.
Cool.
I'm here to do good, for it.
I don't know if you heard, but we're making tragedies.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I love to make this hurt.
Oh, so yeah, this thing I made.
You said you wanted it to hurt. I'm making it hurt.
This thing I made, I can't wait to destroy it.
Yes. Me and every character I've ever made.
Perfect. So the final thing we need to set up before we get into like playing scenes is we just each of us gets to add 2 words to the word bank. So to kind of like explain what the words are, words can be like short phrases, like it could be like what was the example? Corporate espionage can be a word. If it makes sense, right? Like as long as like it's just a short, snappy thing that we can use to as a concept. These will be used later on. This will form like a palette of sorts when we make moves in the game, when we make big moves to try and like lock in our traits, for example. We can use these words as inspiration, as prompts for what we want. It's also it can also just stay in the word bank as a reminder of things that we've flagged to like say, hey, we want to see more of this in the world. Because one way that you can take words out of the word bank is to just introduce those things, those concepts into the world, into a scene that you're in. And you can then spend words to like tokens in like belonging, outside belonging games. You can gain words when you do things, and then spend words to make like big changes in the world.
Cool. I love this, by the way. When I read it earlier, I was very excited, and I'm very excited right now.
Yeah, thanks. Each of us can put in 2 words, can be related to like just like the setting or stuff that you might want your character to this might be a good time to like flag things that you might want for your character. Yeah. So I'm gonna put humility. I want that.
Do we want to err on the side of like specificity or?
You get 2 words, right? So if you want, you can do one specific one and one general one.
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
God, actually, I'm gonna change that to humble pie.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know you needed to improve it, but then you really did.
Oh, hubris. Hubris, my one true love.
Yeah, I went with hubristic explosion and pickles.
Oh, am I supposed to go? I went with seedling and down the hatch.
Mm.
I'm tempted.
Espionage is the second word.
Yeah.
I want to throw something vague in, and I don't necessarily know how it's going to get used. I want to throw an underground, and I don't know if that's like physically underground or if it's like this is like a secret hidden group or like I don't know. Use it how you will. Use it how you see fit. You know.
Cool. So just to go over the words that we have humble pie, espionage, hubristic explosion, pickles, exploration, seedling, underground, and down the hatch. Nice. All right. So that's it. That's what we have to get started. We don't start with any words. That's just there we go. So yeah. So I'll explain how we set up a scene. So up the top left on the mirror board, there are these scene prompts, like a charged conversation, a formal event or dance, a lively meal, that kind of thing. Whoever sets up the scene gets to choose 2 of them to combine into a scene. Right? So you might set up a lively meal and sneaking about, and I don't know how you want to interpret that. And then you, like whoever's the lead player sets it up and says like what's happening, who's there, and then we get into it and play as our characters. And they also will choose a scene question, which is kind of like the main thrust of the scene. Like we should be aiming to try and answer this question with the scene. And the scene question is always phrased in a way that's like, oh, whose actions lead to something happening, right? So there will always be an answer to the question that's like, hey, 1 or more people are involved in this. And when the scene ends, there's a move for ending the scene. When the scene ends, if you get implicated in the answer, you will also gain a word. So like if you play towards the scene answer, you also gain a word. The other ways to gain words, like I mentioned, is that you can introduce stuff into scenes that are related to words in a word bank, and you can take the word out of the word bank. You can also have a conversation or moment of connection between yourself and another pilot that reveals something important about your identity, desires, or relationships. It essentially reveals something, right? And this is foreshadowing. Essentially, you're kind of like setting up like, hey, here's what I put. Like, you know, here's what my pilot potentially is, right? And you can use like each situation. The scene prompt comes with examples of like things that you could reveal in that situation. And then what do you do with those words? You spend them to lock in your traits. So what I said, we are basically playing out character creation. So you spend words to lock in your traits and bonds. And when you do that, you are also showing like how they are used, right? Like how you embody them. So whenever you lock in a trait, you also make a pivotal impact in a scene. And there are examples of pivots the situations as well. You don't have to use the pivots and reveals. You can always make up your own. But if you're stuck, if you're looking for inspiration, you can always look to them as examples.
Cool.
The other things you can do is you can spend a word to try and tell someone who you think they are. And if they accept, they gain the word. Otherwise, yeah, it becomes awkward. So yeah, that's basically how the scene goes. Would someone like to set up a scene?
Let's see.
Yeah, and we pick from any of these scenes.
Yeah.
2 of them?
Any two.
Yeah.
Combine them.
Formal event of dance, lively meal, a supervised fight, a team building exercise, a test of wits, an unauthorized duel, or sneaking about. I love a team building exercise. I guess I'll set one up. Yes. Team building exercise. Does anybody have a pitch for what they want to cross that with, though?
Oh.
Let's see. Not formal event or dance, so that would be super fun. Maybe sneaking about.
That could be fun.
Like I do, like some of my favorite scenes from some of the not. Oh, it's going somewhere. I see.
It's running away.
I smell what you're stinking. One of some of my favorite stuff is like for Hunter x Hunter, just like the way the characters get revealed through kind of some of the early stuff in that series is super enjoyable. And I love the idea of part of the academy, like even before you land, is like, hey, you're all just thrown into this weird team building formation where you have to maneuver through something. And so like it literally is kind of a test of like intellect and stealth for groups of people. Do we feel comfortable with all four of us just getting thrown as a random group to establish relationships early and quick?
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool. What are there questions I should be asking specifically, Aaron? What should I be doing next?
So you also get to pick a scene question.
Scene question. All right.
Yeah.
Scene questions. Let's look at them real quick just so audience knows what they are also too, and we all hear them out loud. What actions led to a major rift between two or more pilots? Whose actions bring two or more pilots closer together? What actions led to a dispute or disagreement with others in the academy? What actions lead to an increase in goodwill with other members of the academy? What actions lead a pilot to develop and assert themselves more fully? Whose actions cause a pilot to question their identity and purpose? Whose actions lead a pilot to reveal how their past influences their actions in the academy? And whose actions lead to a pilot to consider their future beyond the academy? I would love to just create tension. Whose actions lead to a dispute or disagreement with others in the academy? I think is a fun question to explore in this. Do we have any thoughts on what this team building exercise would like? We know it's stealthy. We know it's in some way, shape, or form related to the mech thing. We know we've just been kind of dumped into it and don't know each other well. Is this a capture the flag type thing? Is this a sneak to a certain location thing? What are we thinking?
Well, I guess the first question for me is, are we supposed to be sneaking about?
Ooh, is the sneaking about not part of the assignment?
Right.
I don't have a preference either way. I think I like it framed as like, I mean, the best thing about team building exercises, in all honesty, is rules manipulation being an important part of how you accomplish them. So I love the idea of like, we don't know whether we're supposed to be sneaking around right now or not. And we figure if we ask, that's probably worse than than
Just
doing
Yeah.
it and hoping we're right. So I like the idea of we're uncertain, but it's certainly not explicitly asked of us.
Great.
Mm.
Yeah. This is like Taskmaster. Like if you ask, instructions are written on a task.
Yeah. I do like maybe kind of a capture the flag type thing, like first team like to the flag, and maybe it's just like kind of like giant wooded structure, but maybe we found some sort of like weird access tunnel that's letting us
Mhm.
like circumvent a lot of what seems to be the like the obstacles, right?
So, are we in our mechs, or are the mechs the flag? First team to get in and get on, like get their mech on and functioning. Maybe.
I love
don't
that.
know.
Like
I don't
yeah,
know.
first team to like get to like these like crappy academy mechs in the middle. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. These are our rental mechs. They're
just
like our rental
starters. Yeah,
textbooks.
these are the rank first group to get to a mech and get it
Ooh.
get it like or like set of mechs and get it fired up, and they're all kind of like scattered about in the middle area. I do like as vibes. Cool.
I wonder if there's enough mechs for everybody, but some of them are like super better than others.
Oh gosh, like
so you got to get there first, or you're gonna get like a crap mech.
and at least one team is not going to make it through this. Like there are not quite enough
Oh,
mechs for everybody.
Oh yes.
Like this is an immediate like scrub out for some folks.
Yes.
So
excellent.
That's good. So I think it's probably most interesting if we start where we are discovering this like tunnel. I think for me the question goes to like who discovers it. Like who discovers this? Like this feels like it could be a slice, like being like, hey, I've got some sort of weird inside secret. This also feels like it could be an Elliot like noticing something or like some piece of environment that doesn't make sense. Or I mean, or somebody else too, but those are the two pitches that kind of immediately come to mind for me.
Well, maybe these are like the vents that that are like, I don't know, like you need like air going through to like cool computers and stuff. And Elliot's like, yeah, no, you could like absolutely get inside of one of those. They're like they're big enough for a person. 100%. They go all around the school. Where are you going? No, get back. No, I wasn't serious. Oh my God. No, Sprig, get out of the vent. Sprig, get out of the vent.
I mean, you really made a good point. If you didn't want me in the vent, you should have not talked about it.
I mean, like if these vents are here,
it was just a theory.
Well,
we're not going to try to think of a better idea, or
look, I mean, this seems like a great idea to me. Like,
no, you know what? Nope. All right. All right. Who's going? I'm not going in first. Somebody's got to be able to screw the vent back on to the thing.
Do they?
I mean, do we want somebody else to find the vent and come in after us?
Well, if they're after us, we win.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But what if but we don't have to let them get in after us? They could just like not go at all and have to take a super long way. And then we can let the other teams fight each other. It'll be fine. Then we don't like even have to get blood on our hands. It'll be great. You know what? I'm selling myself more and more on this vent, actually.
I'm just gonna look over at just win and say like, what about you? You coming with us?
I think Justwin is like sulking a little bit because like he definitely wanted to like go do like show off like oh yeah, like I can definitely like run faster than everyone here. You know, my times were like in the top 5 in the academy. Or in the real academy. This is just, you know, this is kindergarten in and so I think he's a bit sulky, but like look, if it's 3-on-1, he knows that like, you know, he's just gotta go with what the group is doing, but he's not happy about it.
I think you can, if you're a good runner, you're probably like a pretty good sneaker too. Like that, it involves a lot of the same muscles, I don't like I think it'll be all right. I think you're gonna be really. Why don't you go first? I'm sure you're gonna. I'm sure you're gonna. You gotta get the
But
fast
I
one.
know I'm gonna like ace
Yeah,
this, but-
exactly. So really, the method doesn't matter. You're gonna do great.
But like yeah, and then he mumbles to himself, yeah, the method matters. Like fuck, I wanted other people like.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to win without people seeing it.
They'll see it in the end when we get to the mech.
Look.
When we've got the sickest 4 mechs in the whole academy, and we get to use them the rest of the semester because we won, they'll see it. I don't know if this counts as using one of like those. I was just looking at the pivots, and does this count as I don't know, deepening trust or enabling a teammate? Because I'm definitely trying to pull on his arrogance and be like, no, bestie, like you're great, and it's because you're great at this. Also, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, like we don't have any words to start with. So this is the thing, right? Like you can always just like on the stuff that's already there, you can always pull on them, right? And you don't need to move to make that happen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's mainly more to like kind of like if you want to change like some of your like potential, for example, right? Like if you want to change like your potential from like engineer to like leader, for example, that could be one way to do it.
Oh.
Right.
No, I'm just
yeah,
supportive. I'm just being supportive.
Yeah, I just say, look, it just looks like Flyboy doesn't want to crawl to me as I like jump into like the vent and just start going.
I do think that there was so the other thing that we could have done, we could do there is that you could instead gain a word when you reveal something, because you revealed something about like how you were able to I guess read Jasmine.
Okay, yeah. Like
So you don't,
I've
you
been
don't have-
paying attention to you fools. Okay.
yeah. So you don't have to just take the words out of word bank. You can always like create something.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if you reveal this capacity, if you're revealing here that, hey, Elliot isn't just someone who pays attention to like machinery and like systems, but also pays attention to people. You could just create the word attention or something.
Ooh.
Or empathy or
Sure. Okay,
Yeah,
if you
so
say
the-
so.
So the world moves. The world moves. You explicitly gain from the word bank, but so what's your deal? Any word.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can make any word. You can also just pull it out from the word bank if it matches. Yeah.
That's fair. I do like the word empath. That's fun. So if we're pulling a word, does that have to go in like our conviction, impulse, flaw, etc.,
just-
or does it just vibe on our
Yeah, you just
page?
put it there.
Cool.
like, just know where you have. I didn't put a space for you to store your words, but
That's
if you just put it on top of your, like I put a bit of space above you.
snagging
for,
one
like,
of
your
these.
words.
It's the first stretch goal is space on the character sheet for the word.
Is a word bank on the character sheet. Yeah.
And so then, are we going to see a new link form? Is that the idea? As part of
No,
the
it's just
Just a word.
Okay.
just a word.
Okay, I'll snag attentive. I like that.
Okay. So yeah, so Slice jumps in, and then seeing that, I think Jasmine is also like, okay, fine, like
Oh. Can't let Slice
he
win.
knows, yeah, he knows he's being manipulated, but it's like, no, I'm still gotta like try and like beat this, and so he jumps in like and tries to like, he's like basically, but face the butt against Slice. It's like, come on, you can go faster than that.
Just like shoving him.
Yeah.
Get your butt out of my face. Go.
Is this like a look? By all means, you move ahead if you want to. Like try to get two
Trying to get
people
side by
moved through,
side in this vent. Guys, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit. Oh god, they're too far. They got their
He's
AirPods in.
gonna
They can't hear
try.
me.
I'm gonna grab the word down the hatch here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a hatch, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Or are we going down?
Are we going down?
Is it?
We are now.
We can go down upwards. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm
Going
just
up
wondering
now.
if like you're grabbing that because you're telling us that there's about to be like
Are we about to drop off
a slide that we have to slide down or something?
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to-
yeah. I think so. I think maybe it is like if it's okay, Slice is just like, okay, sure, if you want to do it, and then Jasmine squeezes past under through your legs, and then like you're just at the lip of like a slide because that he couldn't see, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
just
I
goes-
yeah, I
goes
love this as a like go ahead while because I don't want to go down this slide
Is
first.
this like is this like a trash chute situation? Like, are we about to like get
Yeah, I
dropped
think
out,
this
get dropped
Yeah.
into a dumpster?
might be a
Super fun.
mistake.
Super fun. I gotta play dirty. I mean, that's what y'all said.
Slice, do you follow or do I have to shoulder past you to go down that?
Oh no, like I think we I do think Slice kind of wants to know like pauses for a second as you start to slide down, and then once I like hear whatever results from the tumble, I'll like go down afterwards.
Okay. I think in that pause second, I make a move like I'm going to go past you, and then I'm like, what am I doing? That's not. Give it a second.
It's like piece of shit.
Just in the back, pulling up the rear as always. Like, is he good? Are we? Is he?
Let's
I
find
mean,
out.
if he's not, we got to go after.
And I give like
Oh,
a
gosh.
Yahoo hooey like intentional like slide down this thing.
Yep.
You
Great.
have to land on me, right?
Oh yeah, like we see you like thwump down like flat, and then like me gracefully like hit you, and then like roll off and pop up, like
Oh my god. He's like taking a second to breathe. Like, I really just did that, and then just smack right on top of it.
Yeah.
So choice.
Yeah, and I'm there shortly after.
And I'm pulling up the rear.
And what's in here?
I mean, I think this is just like this is the big open part of like this is where a bunch of vents. Actually, this is like a bunch of vents I think come together in like one spot. So it is I think at this point unclear how to move forward.
Okay.
Because there's like 20 different vents that like hit this space that we're in right now.
Cool.
Elliot.
Yeah.
Well, you said you know all about these events, right? So
I've never been in them, my
Well.
guy.
thought this would be
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm working on it. Let me like just like walk around getting their bearings. Like, okay. And I think we might be able to get up into like across this like expanse of this like coming together events. There's another vent on the other side, but it is also up. So we're gonna have to like boost each other up and get in there. But like that's the way we're going. And if we go there, like if we get into this secret secondary vent, like it's gonna take us probably closer to this big I don't know, hangar or whatever where they keep these mechs. I'm like, yeah, like this is the tech building. So and then this is like the engine, like the physical engineering, right?
Mhm.
So like we just gotta get up in there. So who did cheerleading? Who wants to
Well, I'm
uh-huh.
actually I size up just when trying to figure out. I start saying, out of instinct, well, I'm the littlest guy. And then I'm trying to like sidle up. Try to tell
Oh, no.
who is shorter by like a quarter of an inch, probably.
Enough that you can always argue about it.
Mhm. Depends on the shoes, really.
I probably switch it to I'm the lightest, so push me up there because I'm all lanky and you're like a stronger person, right?
Uh, interesting. No, no,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
It's
I think that is what would make sense. I think that's what everyone sees as like, oh, that probably is the one that makes the most sense. Um, I think Justwin's gonna be like, no, 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 no. You boost me up. I'll get ahead. Um,
Well, hang on. You're the fastest one, so you should be in the back, right?
no, I'm the fastest
You
one,
should-
so I should be in front.
be the
I'll
front, so that
I'll make sure to get to secure the mechs for the team.
Okay. All right. Okay.
mm,
Uh,
mm.
I'm gonna the world is gonna act. I'm gonna grab espionage. I think like unbeknownst to all of us, like in the scene, like we see a group of figures like coming down another pipe, like as we're having this
No.
argument in the back, like stopping and pausing and taking in what we are doing. Like unawares to us, but very much obvious to the audience. And
Okay, so we don't see these.
we see a huddled group of shadows moving in the background.
Okay. I mean, I could boost somebody. I'm tall, so I guess I could, I don't know. If somebody could, lift me once they're up there, I could boost some
yeah,
folks up, I guess.
because I actually want to take the word charge here. After talking with Sprig, because I'm just gonna charge up on top, like clamber on top of Sprig. It's like, hey, like just like brace yourself and like climb up,
Spider monkey up.
yeah, and pull myself up like on top of Sprig.
Incredible.
Yeah, real asshole behavior right now. But because of this, I think this actually, I don't see that there are other people in the hatch. Sorry, in the like where we are, right?
The Nexus.
And yeah, when I'm up there, I'm like, yeah, okay, everything looks good. I try and do like these like military hand signals or whatever it is, and then no one pays attention to that. I was like, fine, just give me your hand.
Yeah, I'm taking the word acquiescence there also, and for that same connection, since I was like, all right, wait, okay, whatever you say, and then yeah, I'll give you my hand.
And I pull you up behind me. I'll try to.
And I give like a whistle, and I'm like, I'll like tap Elliot on the shoulder, like, you ready?
Yeah.
And I've got like my hands down, like bound in front of me, so I can boost you up.
All right, ask and answer. Let's go. Yeah, and they'll step up and mosey on into the vent and throw a hand back down after him.
I'm gonna spend charge like pretty much immediately.
Great.
Don't do it.
I am going to essentially I kind of want to like fast forward us through the vents, like to the mechs already, right?
Sure.
So I'm gonna spend charge to like get us there, because like I think now Justwin is just gonna try and like take charge of the situation, like bulldoze all the way through, like call back for like advice on like where to go, but like just gonna try and like take charge here, because like, hey, I'm I'm the big smart military, not big, big, right? Smart military guy. Like I should take charge here. And we successfully get to like the like new model of the mech. But I think like to build on what Tony said, like we don't realize that we are being followed, right? So my impulse is to charge in guns blazing.
What does that look like? Or is that's the impulse you're taking, right?
Yeah. I mean, metaphorical guns currently, or maybe just lefty and righty. yeah, because like I'm just gonna try and like physically push all the way through and then like get us to like the in fact these are the new prototype mechs, right? Everyone else is using the like the standard models, and these are like the new prototypes. I mean, I'm imagining something like shiny and white, like everything is like painted white and gold, kind of like NASA style, like the, you know, that gold covering that they have
Yeah.
beneath the reflective covering that they have. Yeah, so it's that kind of like shiny reflective gold, and mainly white and black and gray, almost like a space shuttle transformed into a mech, right?
Great.
Yep. So yeah, we successfully like reach our goal,
hmm
not realizing that we are being followed by shadowy figures.
Who emerge on the scene immediately, right?
I have an idea
on.
about that.
Yeah.
If can I spend attentive to notice them?
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Probably it's like we need to why like we can't leave the vents open. We gotta like I'm gonna get in trouble if people find out that like we're just leaving everything open all over the place, and like the maintenance folks are gonna get anyway. Elliot's a good kid, dang it. So they're like over here like trying to put this back on, and they see people coming up through the thing, and they screw the vents shut anyways, from the outside. So I don't know if they're going to be angry about that. I don't know if they're going to bust their way through. I don't know, but they're going to be angry at me.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, Tony?
No, I think that's good.
They can still be coming after us, absolutely, but
yeah, I actually kind of like it, and I don't know how you feel about it.
angry.
I actually like the idea of like you go to screw it back on, and it's not necessarily that they like you see them. Like, I mean, you do. Like, I think you do see them. I love the idea of like one of them grabs you, and so now we're torn between.
Oh yes.
Now we're torn between, do we like one of us has been captured, but while one of us is near one of these
Busted
mechs
ahead, yeah.
and ready to hop into it and kind of.
Oh, this could break real bad. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. No, I'm grabbed. Perfect.
So what you also get to fill in one of your traits or bonds.
Oh.
Yeah. So what do you think would have been most relevant from attentive?
I think so. The traits are like the impulse flaw, those guys. I think I might want to throw a flaw in there, and I'll take suggestions on like what exactly. I'm thinking something like perfectionist, like he doesn't want to leave anything.
I love that.
He doesn't want to leave the vents open.
Also, you could have just slapped it on there, but you were like multi-tooling it back into
100%.
place.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna put this on right. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So it's like he's got a lot to prove, and he's gonna do it right. So I don't know. Perfectionist might be a word.
Like everything in its place also comes to mind.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. Because it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be like, I have to try to do it right. I like that. Maybe that would fits an impulse better. Like,
yeah, it could. Could fit either way. Yeah.
And now I'm in my place, and my place is being grabbed. So my place is halfway in the vent.
I know we're gonna do a couple of these. Is this a good time to find the answer, or do we need a little bit more before we think we do that? Because we're about to potentially reveal who we have tension with, or do we want to play that out and then see what that is afterwards?
So I think we got to think whose actions led to a dispute. So I guess if you're submitting Elliot as the person whose actions are leading to a dispute or disagreement, that's possible. Or I could see probably the very next thing that'll happen.
Yeah, like if somebody tries to either go for the mechs or go for the guys that grabbed Elliot, that could break really bad and
Cool. All right, so let's
make
keep on
sense.
keep on going.
I have a question that we haven't fully covered. So I think we either at the beginning or right before, like when Aaron, you were going over the setting that we're playing in. This isn't like battle school, right? This is like
No.
space explorer school.
Yeah.
So I could see a world in which like we get into these mechs and we pretend like we're in battle school to rescue our friend. And
that's not how it's supposed to be.
Those actions probably lead to a dispute or disagreement.
Yeah.
I like that.
Which,
oh my God.
I mean, even if we, I think
like,
we set up a lot of different ways we could create upset here for others.
Like this is not supposed to be a PvP sort of assignment, but what if we turn it into one?
I think it literally was just like, hey, can we get like the way better mechs? Like, can we get assigned to like the good ones?
Yeah.
So my pitch here for like how we could, because I think this would be a good place to kind of like end it, but like I think it could go either way, whether we do something with, whether it's something to do with how or how we save Elliot, how or if we save Elliot,
Fair.
or like whether or not like these prototypes get stolen.
Oh.
like out from under us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, is there? I imagine we're not the only two groups.
No, yeah, I think we established there's the feeling of more groups than this.
Yeah,
my pitch was that these people behind us are like not from this program at all. They are just here to straight up steal the mechs away.
Oh snap! Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you got new exploration mechs? Yeah, we'll take those.
Yikes.
I was sort of imagining like as soon as we found them, like I wasn't looking back to see. I didn't expect Elliot to like really put the screws on, so I kind of imagined climbing into one. I don't know if anybody else also climbed into one, but
That's
it's really
totally
how many are empty to be stolen, because I think that's
Yeah.
Or do we realize they're going after them and destroy them, or like sabotage them so that they can't take them?
I mean, I think the other question is, do we even know the other people here well enough to know that's what's going on?
I don't know that.
I think we can just. I'm gonna. I think I want to try and push for this. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna take underground here.
Okay.
And reveal that these are like we see the pack like finally when someone grabs Elliot, right? Like we see like the we see something that identifies them as part of this like underground resistance group that like opposes this whole program, right? It's like, hey, like, you know, we are not fixing the problems or currently facing our colonies, and you want to go out there exploring the world. No, we're going to sabotage this.
Yeah, fix our stuff at home before you go out into space. I like.
Yeah.
So
especially
fun.
like these new prototypes. They have some like we don't know, right? But like they had some information like leaked on something about these prototypes. So they're here specifically after them. So I think we noticed that like, hey, there's this like protest group or something.
Okay.
I think following that, I think because I got into one and now there's these underground people getting into them. I think I'm going to take a hubristic explosion. And as I see them trying to like climb into these other mechs to steal them, whether I know that they're the underground people or just competitors, I'm like, no, we got here first. And so like I kind of take a big swing at these other mechs and at the ones that they're climbing into to like steal. And I just like run up to them in the mech that I got into and just start really thinking like I could handle the situation with punches and power tools.
I don't know what music is flowing up in the background, but I do like the idea that I'm having the exact same thing happen, but I'm not in a mech. I'm just squared off with one of these dudes,
Yes.
like the one who has grabbed Elliot, and it's like, hey, get your hand off of them. Like, again, same thing, not realizing at all what is going on. Like Elliot with their attentiveness maybe notices, but I like the idea of like two of us totally unaware, as like, and facing off. I'm trying to see if I want to grab a word with that, with what I'm going to do or not. I think I'm going to gain humble pie, as I just like get absolutely clocked by like I go to like I grab like their hand off Elliot, and they just like turn and swing and punch me, and like we just see me like the shot from behind my head as I hit the ground for a second, like totally unaware of that, the hit that's coming.
Oh my god. We just see them smack on the ground, and behind them, Ella's just like, oh my god. Like, did not expect you to come to bat for me, but okay. Interesting.
I'm gonna do a weird thing here.
Great.
I'm gonna spend down the hatch.
Great.
Love it.
But I'm actually gonna activate I see you, because I think like I look up and like I'm torn, because like I want to be in that mech. Like how come Sprig is in it and like fighting? Like I also like, you know, like, hey, noticed like that Elliot got taken, or more like or more like, because I was like competing with Slice, I was gonna like put a zinger to Slice, like to say, hey, look where I got us, and then noticed Slice like get decked, and like come and join the fray as well, because I believe that Elliot, I'm gonna maybe I'll do the more direct one then. Like I will just spend down the hatch to like kick that person who was trying to like capture Elliot, like kick them down the hatch, like back down where they came from, like directly, because I think I'll just put a bond with Elliot here in that, like I think Elliot is probably actually the most important person on the squad. Yeah.
Aw.
So I guess what I want, like not protection, but
Do you want survival for them? It's not battle school, but
I think in a weird way I want Elliot's respect.
Aw, okay. Aw.
Because like I think in the end, like for the mission that we're on, right, like Elliot's skill set is very important. It's maybe it is. Yeah, I'll go with that. Like it's like, hey, I only know I'm the gun, you're the bullet, you know?
Yeah, you want like an allyship. Maybe not friends, but like want to be on the same team. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know how many of these fools do you think are in these vents coming after us? Like, have we is doing is Justwin shoving that guy, is that the last of it, or are there more?
I was imagining there's 4. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like if I'm spending a word to pivot it, like I think like between the three of us, right? I pull Slice up as well. Like between the three of us, we defend Elliot, and like Elliot like properly locks down that that great or
Love that.
access pod, right?
Okay,
So
cool.
between the three of us, I think
Yeah.
we've got that situation all done.
Well, so I think I did want to. I kind of imagined that there were 4.
I like that also. Like I like that in the
Like there were 4 mechs. There are 4 of them. So like 2 of them, or like maybe 3 of them, are handled now. But there is one still in a mech, and because all I wanted to do was spend hubristic explosion to just destroy that mech.
Yeah.
that person said.
Like simultaneously, you know.
Yeah, trying to cause trouble here, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna spend hubristic explosion to like. I'm really feeling myself. I like lay the people's elbow down in this mech.
Get it, Bessie.
I'm gonna grab the impulse. Ask questions later.
Yes. Incredible.
And that feels like now maybe they're all dealt with.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah, I was hoping something like either one of the mechs got stolen, but I like destroyed. Probably
Destroyed is so
better.
choice.
Because also that means that essentially means one of us is going to get a janky mech also. Too.
I'll volunteer to take the janky mech.
Right, and
Y'all came in and saved my butt. So
and when like Academy officials roll onto the scene,
they're not gonna. No. Are we gonna like tell them what happened? Are there cameras? Like what's
Yeah, I mean I like the idea that essentially we've been being monitored the entire time. Maybe that's it. Like so we climb in, like we're like cheering at the top of our lungs, and then like it pans out to like us on a TV screen. Like
oh my god.
Like
there's like professors are just like, oh my god.
Yeah, like who like I don't know who's yelling at us in the academy. But it's somebody.
Oh yeah.
And I like the administration, like essentially like being upset with us about the destruction of one of these prototype mechs is a very good like
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Right, like the moment that like it gets destroyed, then you kind of like unfocus and look at the background, and you notice like that security mechs were already here and would have handled it no problem. Right. Like they were monitoring everything, and like when they noticed that there was these,
they're like powering on.
Yeah, like they already came, right? Like they were just like minutes away from.
We're also no longer in the space we're supposed to be in. These are actually just prototype and actual mechs. Like we are off. We are like we did not take the right tunnel out of this place.
Yeah. We were never going to be assigned these, right?
Yeah.
Oh, these are prototypes that like the 3rd-year engineers are working on.
Right.
Yeah.
And so those are the pilots that are pissed at us now. Because we have to. The question that we're talking about is like what gets us in bad shape with these other faction of pilots at our school, right? I think it's the people who. I think it's the people that are building these mechs. They're like, this is like their like senior thesis project. They're like, these are these new prototype mechs, and we just came in here and wrecked shop.
Is there a level of like bonding that happens with the mechs that makes it really annoying if somebody else is the first person to pilot it? Like, have we totally messed up like, their ability to continue to build these?
Or it was a set of 4, right? And they like had like command link set up. Like, so now we've like taken one off, and it's going to be a pain in the butt to build one and make it fit with these other 3. They're already functional. Like, oh.
And so to be clear, our assignment was to find our mechs. Whatever mech you get into, that's your mech.
They did not specify that there were off-limits mechs.
This is it. This is the one for me.
So yeah, I think we can answer that question, right? Like, who's actually to dispute disagreement with others in the academy? I feel like Sprig and Elliot should.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I turned us the wrong way. I'll take that one. That's not me, dog. Sorry.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Like all Just Win and Slice did was goad people and rush ahead the entire time.
They were following the assignment. We were just on the wrong textbook the whole time.
Cool. So y'all get you gain the same word.
Yeah.
So do we try to pick a word that embodies that, or do they just pick a word from the bank?
If there's one that fits in a bank.
Pickles.
Pickles.
We're in a pickles now.
Lord.
Can I change it to pickle? Because I like the double meaning there. Pickle.
Oh, because we're in a pickle.
Yeah. I mean, like I was using it for the double meaning purpose, just that it didn't have to be singular. Yeah, pickle is fine.
Yeah.
Pickle, parenthesis. S.
Right. What word could we do?
What word?
Insubordination. Impulse. I mean, impulse is already a game term, but like,
yeah.
Something like creativity, thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
But like,
I do
maybe.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I like outside the box. I just had another one that I can't remember for the life of me now, so let's just keep on going. Yeah. Or even just the wrong way, like implying like that you were not supposed to destroy the other mech. We also took the wrong turn.
Like that is gonna chafe with Elliot, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah.
Just wrong way.
Yeah.
Just wrong way. Is this a word that we're taking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. We did a scene.
We did it.
We did it.
We won. Oh no, it disappeared. All right.
Should we take a break? No.
Do we want to do one more? Do we do how many academy moves do we do? Do we do them till they're all gone, or what is the?
So usually, if we're playing like longer term, we would. What I've been doing in playtesting is that I've just done one session that's just academy, and then one session that's conflict. However, I think we could potentially do both today because we've got like a pretty strong grasp of the characters. We could potentially just skip to conflict even after just one scene.
Yeah, that seems fine.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to do more academy, but time constraints.
We could also do a series of like academy montages, and rather than doing like a full scene, just name some things that we see happening. If we want.
Like we can expand. So there's you usually have to do like a montage of like what happened between like the academy and the conflict phase, but we can expand that like or just like as part of like with ending the academy phase, we have to there's a answer because there's a question that we answer as well about how we leave the academy. Okay. So we could do that.
Let's do that, and then we'll take a short little break. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, works for me.
Usually the way it should go is that we continue until every player is happy with their answers to these phases called themes, which is who are you and what do you want. I think we've mostly answered who are you. What we want is a bit something that we haven't covered a lot, but we can try and cover this. Or the alternative is like continue until you've played 2 to 3 scenes, or each player has been the lead player once, right? So you could do up to 4 scenes if you want. But yeah, in the interest of time and just to like show, just to get into like big tragic mech combat. We can end that here. So we choose one of the following questions to answer as a group. What causes the academy to shut down and scatter your squad? Or what causes your squad to forsake the academy and go separate ways? Or what causes your squad to lose contact after graduating from the academy?
I have a pitch for the first one.
Okay.
Which is sort of like taking the fact that we are shortening the academy phase and just making it part of the story. Because there's these like revolutionaries, like what if just this war like breaks, like this is close to, like it was already close to a tipping point that this exploration program was going to get shut down because we've got to fight people. we've got to fight each other, right?
Mhm.
Earth versus colonies, or whatever it ends up being. What if that just breaks out and like the academy, it just kind of gets shut down, or something like so soon, like on our first or second week, or something similar to that?
I like that.
I could be down. Yeah, I like the idea that these dissenters are like such a big thing, like such a big annoyance to the academy that like it can't keep operating.
Like we get some sort of like janky month of kind of academy.
Yeah.
That's especially bonding because of the intensity of everything happening around us before they have to shut it all down. I like that. I like that. As if what's the way the question's actually phrased for that one?
What causes the academy to shut down and scatter your squad?
Yeah. So the shut down, I think, makes sense. What is that? I mean, like, do we each get pulled back into our own lives? Is there something that we're all immediately pushed towards? Are we each pulled in different directions? How do we see the scattering part working?
I think does this this conflict that's like already starting to happen, like is it building already to the point, I guess, that we are already getting drafted, maybe is the wrong word, but like they're already like, no, we need you to like actually use these like 2 weeks of skills that you guys have because nobody else has them. So like we all get pulled and like Justin's like already like has this pilot experience. He's off doing that, and like Elliot's off like building these mechs for people. Like they're all getting pulled in these different directions because they're like, no, it's go time now, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like we're pulled off to, we would go play Spectres of Brocken in separate groups now,
Right.
to do the next like quick academy, whereas the war academy this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, immediately like, you guys do the mechs, so get over here. We need you.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes of mech experience. That's better than most people.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, like, potentially, Sprig is like if the prototypes get turned into like combat models, because they are newer, right? And like Sprig is the person who has the most like flight time by minutes.
Just leverages that to get a choice assignment.
Yeah.
And immediately figured out how to do wrestling moves with it. So
Yeah.
Just suplex.
Like, it might not even be like wrestling, like Sprig's choice. You know, it's just like,
Right.
hey, you got to do this now.
yeah.
You've destroyed more of these mechs than anyone.
So now we're gonna make you destroy a bunch more.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, especially for Jasmine, right? Like he was already like in the academy, so I think he's the first one that like leaves, gets pulled back, like gets recalled, right? Like stop this! You're coming back, finishing your actual like combat training. Yeah, because I think like like potentially like this underground like resistance, like it's not just a protest group, right? Like it's a more organized resistance.
Did you spin the word on underground? Do you want to give him a name, Aaron?
Ooh.
I can figure that out after the break.
After the break.
After the time.
Aaron's like, I need a break.
Time skip.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else we need to do before the break?
No, because we figure out like where everybody's ended up when we come back, right?
Yeah. We can get into like some of the details.
Nice.
I mean, if we're okay, we could do that before we do the break, right? Like,
That's what I was thinking you meant a second ago. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Like, because so Justin's getting pulled to like do the like combat side of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I think Elliot gets pulled even before the school itself shuts down, like right after Justin gets pulled. And they're like, we need to start actually like building these fools and like programming these things to like, because this is happening quicker than we thought. So it's a lot of special projects and no more free time. And then you just never see Elliot again. Like,
which side do you get pulled though?
I I kind of want to think that like I don't know if they're like in a way sponsored by like whatever side the school itself is on, if it is on a side, but I do think it would be kind of zesty, just knowing who they are if they get kind of pulled into this resistance group, because they're like, I don't want this conflict to go through, like to get onto like other planets and go into like on this larger scale. Like if we're gonna have all this conflict now, we need to stop it while it's here. And I maybe that's when they get kicked out or leave, and people don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah, can I pitch something here?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if you find out like that this prototype program was always gonna make combat mechs?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's yeah. That would
Like
chase
it's
them
weird
so
that, like
hard.
Sprig was like so good at like destroying other mechs.
Yeah, they're like, why was this mech so good at exploding and exploding other mechs? That doesn't. This is supposed to be what terraforming and agriculture. That doesn't seem like explodey.
Yeah,
So.
like the Earth Federation was using this as like a essentially like a cover to like develop their next gen like combat mechs.
Oh, awful! I love it. Yeah, I think they have a kind of this inkling, and then they like get pulled in to like start programming it, and they're like, why is there so many weapons on this thing? So then they just yoink the plans and run. So they're off the map, off the grid. I think that makes a lot of sense for them. Yeah.
I think Slice gets pulled into like specifically like the actual, like not mech R&D explicitly, but weapons R&D stuff immediately, like Zero Ray Corps, like, all right, like we're just gonna supply, like everyone's fighting, that's great, we're just gonna make weapons, like we're gonna make weapons, we're gonna sell them to whoever has money, that's great. Like they have like a crappy, like quick, like I mean, you know, like easy to produce, like high margin, like mech, like that they sell. It's very shitty, but the weapons that they make are absolutely like top of the line and can be slapped on essentially anything. And so he ends up just kind of like totally pulled into like arms dealing and arms merchanting for this horrible corporation.
Awful. So good.
Where does Sprig end up?
I mean, I think whatever side this academy is on, which sounds like Earth, unfortunately, I think Sprig has to be, because I agree with what you said. Like I have the most, because I had like that several minutes of successful combat time, which originally they were mad about, but like because then a month later, like, oh no, we got to get this guy back in here.
You did blow it up real good, is the thing.
And I didn't even know that there were weapons on it. So wait till you see what happens. But like, you know, normally I'd be aghast to play the big Empire people, but Sprig's a big gullible guy, so
yeah,
I'm on that side, and they're like pumping me up, like, oh, you're doing great. Look, our experimental mech pilot here. And I just eat it up.
Like you don't know you're on the baddies, imperialist side.
Oh.
You've bought the nationalist line.
Oh, sweetie.
a mech for every pilot.
Oh yeah. I mean, Earth has always been around. Of course, it's the good guys.
Yeah, a protein block for every home, and so. Awesome, cool. Any other questions we want to answer before break time?
Let's do this thing, which is let's fill out the rest of our unfilled traits and bonds.
Okay.
That
was going to be one of my other questions: is do we do that? Because that theoretically that would happen over the course of the other scenes that we played, right?
Yeah. So because it's kind of like flexible, like there has been like situations when we've played 3 scenes and like, oh crap, I actually never like picked the conviction, you know?
Right.
So yeah, Like if there are any left unfilled after the academy phase, you just fill them up.
What's
Okay.
Justin? What side? What side is Justin on? remember.
Of Earth, of course. Like
Okay.
he's got a job, you know.
Yeah.
My pictures, like I think Justwin is now like playing second fiddle to you, right?
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm
Oh, that
I'm
hurts.
so excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Justwin and Sprig on Earth side, Elliot with the rebels or
with the
whatever,
resistance.
and then
Oof.
Slice just with the war profiteers kind of on the
The
side.
capitalists.
With whoever pays his checks.
Because we do know that when we come back, it will not be the same people.
No. Oh, I want to make another bond that's gonna hurt.
I mean, if you want to make something that you're about to destroy in a minute, I don't think there's anything that can stop you at this point in time.
I think that's the rules of the game, though, right? It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a tragedy, kind of.
Is Slice taking the second fiddle thing as poorly as I would guess? How's that going? Because I feel like the bond should be something related to it, but I'm curious as to what the
Slice?
not Slice, just
Okay,
one.
let's say
Just one.
Slice. Slice doesn't feel like it's going to fiddle at all. So,
I think so. I think he's not taking it well. Especially because like he kind of looked down on Sprig in the academy, right? And like he kind of like he's regretting like turning around to help Elliot in a way.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
would have been in
"Shit,
that
I
back.
should have gone into the back and got that recognition. You know?
I think, if you're cool with this, Tony, I think, because Slice is one of the ones that, like came up physically and like physically took a hand off of Elliot and like
yeah, like
threw down with this guy.
Yeah.
Like physically threw down with this guy. I think that was a moment when Elliot was like they didn't have to do that. And me. So I think throughout their like month of going to school together, Elliot was like kind of harboring like a little bit of a crush. It was like, I don't know if it's just like, I just think they're really cool. They like threw a punch and they didn't need to do that, and that was like kind of baller. But then they're like, oh no, okay, maybe he's not this this airheaded sponsorship kid that I kind of thought he was. And so they kind of see, oh no, oh god, I accidentally moved Sprig's sheet. I'm so sorry. But so they see, a little bit like something. He's a deeper person than they thought he was. So they got a little crush. I don't know.
I'm 100% down with that. I also love it because you end up on the idealistic underground, and I'm like, yeah.
And you're
like,
dealing arms. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt so good. I love it. My devious little raccoon hands. These bad boys can fit so much trauma.
Trying to decide which potential I think is better, or where I think I end up.
And yeah, it is okay to go off the list, right?
Yep.
Go elsewhere. Okay. That's not quite the right.
If I could spell, that would help.
is my second one? Aaron.
Mm.
Wait, what did you? Yeah, I think I, if it's all right with you, I think I want to feed your jealousy.
Yes.
So you turn on it may like not necessarily violently, right? But like I essentially want to goad you to keep on to not get along with Sprig, mainly because it's good for sales.
And I put that I want Just One to accept that we're peers.
I've always got a new souped up model for you that I think it'll help you showcase your abilities real well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've updated my traits. I've added be the strongest there is as a conviction. And I've picked Speed Demon as a potential because I think he can't get as many kills as Sprig, but he can definitely be as best be the quickest.
I love it. I finished filling things in with hit them before they hit you, saboteur, and haunted. Because yeah, things are gonna get real dark with with Slice.
Yeah. My conviction is let's end this quick. Both the war and also any given thing, anything. And then my potential is just that he's a natural. Like everything about flying these fancy mechs just comes.
Love it.
And if it doesn't, like if there are any of the little modules that don't come naturally, he just doesn't learn it or touch it. But most of it is great.
It's like one of those things where you're actually only using 60% of your potential because you just don't know what to do with the other 40% of the buttons on the mech console.
Yeah, but that 60%, ooh.
Alrighty.
What do we got for Elliot?
We've got conviction, protect what's important, and impulse that everything is in its place, kind of thing. To put everything where it goes. That potential, still an engineer, always will be. And flaw, they've become a bit of a coward, hiding in their computers and then hiding in this resistance. They don't want to get their hands dirty.
Love it.
Okay. We can do the rest when we come back, I guess, and
Sounds
set
good.
up the conflict phase properly.
We're going to come back in about 5 minutes to keep on playing Spectres of Brocken. We have finished up the Academy phase, and we'll be back to play the other phase, the conflict phase. In about 5 minutes. We'll see y'all then. And we are live again here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel, playing Spectres of Brocken with Aaron Lim, the creator. Aaron, we have done the first round of phase, which is the Academy phase. We've developed some relationships with each other. The Academy has ended, and we're going to go into the conflict phase next. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, so there's a big change in the conflict phase. So in the conflict phase, we are actually going to be a few years into a war. Excuse me. And now we're all kind of like ace pilots in our own right, or at least we're pilots with our own like custom mechs. And these mechs will kind of like reflect the traits that we have. So whenever we kind of like showcase any of our traits, we also should showcase like how the mech features kind of like allow those traits to kind of have an outsized impact on the world. But with that outsized impact comes consequences. There is blood in this phase. That's a new mechanic. It's a kind of a pacing mechanic in that like each scene, you start with an amount of blood, and when the blood runs out, that tells you roughly when you should end the scene. You can keep going if you want, just like keep some stuff going, but yeah, once you're out of blood, that should nudge you to like, hey, just find an end to the scene currently. And what blood does is that when you take dangerous actions, people can give you blood, or you can take blood yourself. And you can either hold blood in your hands or put it onto your pilot sheet. If you put it onto your pilot sheet, you erase one of your traits or bonds and say how that's been damaged. If you hold it in your hand, then the war has touched something that you care about, and you destroy one of your links. Spending and gaining and spending words in the conflict phase is much closer to like traditional belonging, outside belonging, in that like when you get into trouble or danger, then you gain a word, and if you want to like make a pivot similar to the academy phase, like if you want to make take big action, then you spend the blood. Spend a word. Spending a word to seize the day is also one way for you to remove blood from the blood pool, such that it doesn't get on people. And there's a potential, but like if you remove blood from the blood pool, you move the scene closer to its end. But if you do it in a dangerous way, you could potentially like take 2 blood out of the blood pool by removing one from that, and just taking one, just like, hey, I'm going to take dangerous action to do that. The other big thing that you can use to like adjust your traits and bonds, and also potentially gain words if you need them, is to just have words on the battlefield. Like if you have a moment of connection or conflict with another pilot that draws back to your academy days, like it echoes what happened in the academy, you can, if you've changed the most, you can change one of your traits or bonds, and if you haven't changed, then you gain a word. So yeah, that's kind of like the rough idea of the phase. There's also a way for you to like regain your lost traits or bonds, but you have to spend 2 words to kind of like heal up, so to speak, or change, right? So yeah, that's gonna be it. The scene setup is very similar to the academy phase, except that instead of a choice of 8 potential situations, you now have situations that you then add a complication to. you can still combine two different situations, but you could also just pick a straightforward situation and just one way that makes it like dangerous and complicated.
So is
Yeah.
this top row that you have
Yeah,
the situations,
top row
the bottom are the
and the bottom row is the complications.
cool.
So yeah, let's set up what's happened. Let's recap and set up what's happened in the conflict phase. Because there's a couple of bits that we still haven't done, which is establishing a new link and also adding 2 more words to the word bank. So the academy that we were in, which was supposed to train us to like go out into the stars and explore and find new habitable new worlds, shut down because a war has broken out. We already saw like the kind of like the foreshadowing of that because when we were sneaking around trying to like get access to like the cool new prototype mechs so that we can use them in training, another faction like infiltrated our training academy and tried to steal them. And they managed to steal one, but Sprig destroyed it with a people's elbow, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, and we find ourselves. I think the 2 major factions that we know of is that there is the Earth Federation, where Justwin, who was already part of the military and still is in, and Sprig has been forcefully conscripted due to his piloting prowess, and the kind of like the rebel colonies or like the resistance against the Federation, and Elliot has ended up joining them because they found out that hey, the Federation was always planning to militarize these mechs. And that the exploration project was also like tied into like this other military like refresh, I guess, like a hardware upgrade for all the mechs. And so when they got kind of like recruited to work on the mechs, they found this out and left. And then Slice ended up working with the like war profiteers. This is like I guess in Star Wars this would have been that the people at Canto Bight, right? Like the like the industrialists that like were selling to both the rebellion and
100%. Yeah. If only the Trade Federation disputes had been settled, we wouldn't have had to deal with any of this.
So yeah, so do we want to make this like a 3-side war, or is it more of a 2-side thing? And like the like where do the corporations end here, Tony?
The corporation only has its own interest at heart, so it does sell across. Because I think there probably are like smaller factions and other stuff like this, but I think essentially you've got like underground and outline colonies, and then like Earth main imperialist force, and we sell to everybody. But like I imagine that we are very, very mercenary. So you would even see like we might even deploy like automated mechs alongside troops on a battlefield, but like we'll deploy them on both sides, and their only targeting rules are don't shoot the other ones because we can always go get those afterwards and resell them later. Other than that, they'll just kill everybody.
Grim. So yeah, where I guess where do you find yourself on like? Is it just like a neutral side?
I think neutral would ignore a level of malicious intent in war profiteering, and so I I think we see, and there's probably a level at which we can explore this a little bit. Like neutral is not a bad way to do it, but I think shifting might be better. Like by which I mean like we want to prolong the war as much as possible, and so when we sense one side losing, like we are happy to make sure they get more arms, and all of a sudden, oh, it's a little bit harder to get arms to whoever's winning at that side. So because the state of war is good for business, and so. In some ways, we're the real enemy, but in other ways, yeah, we're just a shifting faction in the perceived conflict.
Sure. So maybe I'll set this up as like 3 sides, right?
Sure.
And then, yeah. Do you want to pick a name for your side, Tony, and then for Kit as well for your resistance side?
I thought you were naming the underground.
No, it's your side. It's your faction.
Yeah.
Now.
And
Is it just the Zero Ray Foundation? By the way, Tony, or is there like more?
do what?
The War Profiteers? Is it just the Zero Ray Corporation, or is there...
Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna start, right? I mean, we have so many subsidiaries that, you know, you might not always know it's the Zero Ray Corp, which is how you maintain that kind of anonymity you need in the situation. Like, but yeah, I think Zero Ray Corp is the top of that.
There's some level of plausible deniability that you're not selling to both sides.
Right.
Oh, well, so it's a different guy. They're technically a child company, but they're fully independent. We can't
You know, yeah. Like
control
our
what they do.
our shareholders are who we're really trying to protect here.
Yeah. Yeah. Kit, do you have a name for?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Look, Gundam just went with like anti-Earth Union group, so have to be subtle here.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is like the higher ups or whatever have a name for it. But it's so like it's like there are people in every family who are secretly a part of this trying to do sabotage. Like at some point everybody just knows it is the resistance. Like that's at some point, like you just it's more symbology than like a name or something. You just like you see like you can like see like somebody's wearing like I don't know like a certain colored something and you're like, oh, you're one of us. But they don't speak about it. There's not a name for it because that's how you get caught. So I think like the opposition just talks about it as the resistance. They talk about it as the rebellion, trying to paint it in this bad picture. And really we're the defense. Let's be real.
Well, I mean, how can Earth be the bad guys? Doesn't really make sense.
If you would stick to Earth, you would be.
Yeah, so just to finish up like the character bits that we need to do, so everyone gets a new link that they've developed over like the I don't know how many years since the academy. 4?
Sounds good.
Something like that.
Yeah. Like the Olympics got cancelled. Space
No.
Olympics.
No. This battle is taking place on like one of what would have been the Olympic battlefield, like one of like the arenas. I don't know.
I added the link. A lot of what the enemy says about the war does make sense.
They have a point.
There's like a very loud but unspoken but to that statement, I think. Because it's, you know, I mean, it's the Earth.
It's our Earth.
The default good guys.
We can't be the bad guys for Earth.
Yeah, I put Jasmine like the crew of the Bright Sword are like family to me. It's just like, oh, this is like a battleship or something. Um, like Jasmine's all in. He's like bought into like this whole military like family thing.
I put committed contacts across all factions that feed money into my coffers.
Yeah. Yeah. I put that the resistance keeps its own safe. I am
That's
terrified that the other side is going to find out what I did. But they're going to keep me safe, so it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
we can also add 2 more words to the word bank each. Things that we might want to explore in this phase. I'm putting betrayal for sure.
Oh, I was going to put backstabber. Stole my word.
Oh, you can put that. I'll pick something else.
No. Go for it. Go for it. Ooh.
Whoops. Crush is
I
very good.
see you. I see you doing that. Bro.
Some good words going on there. All right. Everybody got there too?
Yep.
All right. So we've got in the bank, fish out of water, exploration, regret, attentive, hubristic explosion, implant, seedling, pickles, down the hatch, broken seams, inadequate, crush, betrayal, moment of clarity, and charge.
Nice. All right.
All good things.
So, we should also like. I think usually we would also like establish, what do do each what does each side want, from the conflict, and what are the key locations, resources, and forces. We probably don't need to go into too much detail on like locations and resources and forces here, but I think we should be clear on what the resistance wants, at least. Like what is there a specific thing that they're fighting for? Because I think like the Earth Federation wants to like quell it, right, and like return to the status quo. Zero Ray Corp wants to make money. What is the resistance after here?
The resistance, I mean, they also want this fight to be over, but they kind of want to nerf this the Earth Federation's like, I don't know, like hunger for blood. They feel like they're doing everything so like aggressively, with like the I don't know if it's like the colonization attempts, or like just building these mechs for what seems to them like no reason, just to be these machines of war. And they're like, we don't need this. We don't want anybody to have these like these massive weapons. And like this war should not have been even a thought in the first place.
Cool.
I went ahead and filled out all of our brand materials for Zero Ray Corp on the. We've got your orbital platforms. We've got your deep space deployment center. We've got weapons and more weapons. We've got automated drone mechs in a variety of colors.
Yeah, great. So, we should set up a new scene then. So to do that, someone pick a situation and then add a complication that makes the scene dangerous. And also, once again, there's a question. And the questions in the conflict phase are more about outcomes of scenes, about like, hey, what ways would a battle go? And each scene is usually like, yeah, you will be in your mechs fighting, right? And at the start of the game, because like everyone's just in mechs, you might not recognize who is on the opposite side, or like who's actually piloting the other thing. So yeah, so we will pick call signs and like pick names for our mechs as they get introduced as well. Since Tony set up the first scene, right? Like either Adam or Kit, do you have a idea?
I like the idea of a heist, but I feel like that might be too similar to what we did in the academy, and so I don't know that we want to. Okay, because I feel like we have a good faction to heist from, because there is one side that has all the equipment,
all the goodies to get.
Yeah. That could be fun.
So yeah, is this a heist that the Resistance is putting on against?
Yeah, I think I don't think the Resistance has necessarily as much of, it doesn't have like a conglomerate as much at the top, so putting together funds to purchase these things in a legal sense is not always something that is available to every level of this resistance. So I think there's a smallerish group that's like, why don't we just, they shouldn't have it anyway, why don't we just take it and get it off the playing field. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't, but goal one, it is not unimportant whether we destroy it or steal it, I think. But we just want a slow production, because once there's no more weapons to fight with, there's no more weapons to fight with.
Great.
And do you want to pick a complication here?
I don't, Adam, complicate it.
Oh.
we got I want to share the stage.
Well, so I guess I'm trying to think of what you're thinking here. Is this like, because there's one way this scene could go, which would be it's like you and maybe some other Resistance pilots doing this heist, and then like Slice is there, right? And Justwin and Sprig are not like part of this scene. So is that the way that you want to go?
I think if we can find a way to get everybody there, that would be dope. Maybe. I don't know if they count as non-combatants because you are the other side of the war. But what if you guys are there, I don't know, conducting business or testing out these new these new mechs that that the corporation has. You guys are there on legitimate business, right. And the Resistance is here to mess stuff up. So if we wanted to get everybody involved, which
I think either's fine with me. I think it's interesting if we're just there doing business or signing a deal or testing out the new big gun.
Yeah. I mean, and that doesn't have to be like non-combatants. It could be like this unexpected new technology could be like what you guys are
Right.
testing out or something like that.
Or high emotional stakes.
It's all going to be high emotional stakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that could be unexpected new technology. It could be heavy political ramifications.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Or high
let's go
emotional
on.
stakes.
Unexpected new technology feels good.
I like that.
I'm gonna see some goofy stuff. Cool. So then it's what we you will choose a question, a lead question.
Choose one question to answer, as the scene question, and then y'all also decide how bloody you think this is.
So for the audience, the questions are: whose actions helped their side strike a decisive blow on the other? Whose actions helped their side grab victory from the jaws of defeat? Whose actions caused their side to lose something precious to them, even as they claimed a nominal victory? Whose actions helped their side seize a critical resource, shifting the tide of the overall war? Whose actions helped their side salvage a loss by fulfilling a key secondary goal? Whose actions helped their side win over an unlikely ally? And whose actions helped their side come to dictate the temporary I can't read a word because somebody's thing is in the way, the temporary ceasefire, the terms for temporary ceasefire, and whose actions helped their side successfully undermine another in secret?
Oh, these are so good.
I will say, just as a total design note, like I do love that this also feels very much like, even though there's just two phases of play, like the ability to play this game for a very long time in the same setting feels very existent. Like if you wanted to take multiple sessions for Academy and then switch over, it's more so than a lot of No Dice No Masters games I've played in the past, which is very cool.
Yeah, this is the replayability, like even of like just the one setting is like so cool. Oh my gosh. All right, what's gonna hurt worse? I'm like, I want to give them an ally, but no, this is a tragedy, besties. How about whose actions help their side successfully undermine another in secret?
It's the one I wanted you to pick so bad.
Do it for you.
Great. So, is that everything that we, or how bloody? Right?
Oh, we need blood. I don't know how much blood you guys want.
I think we might just be able to do one scene here, right? Considering how late it is on your end.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd say we should go like at least 4. You know.
At least 4.
What's the scale again? Just so we know what you just said. Is it
3 to 5?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Yeah. Do we want to go all out? Do we want to throw 5 blood down and see what happens?
I'm fine with that.
What about?
Let's make it hurt.
Yeah.
Go big blood or go home. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Thank you.
All right. 5 blood is in the pool.
Blood.
Blood for the Blood King.
All right. So you're setting up the scene, right? Like where is this happening? Is this where's this heist happening?
I feel like it's happening in one of these production platforms that y'all have set up. Like it's on Zero Ray Corp's turf. Absolutely.
Like it's a space station, or when you say production platform, right?
I'm just going off of what is written here for the Zero
I'm
Ray
happy
Corp.
to establish a little bit about a production.
Tell me what that production platform looks like, and is it in space? Because I love that.
Yeah, so let's if we want to go with our solar system, since we're already using Earth, let's say this is the Mars orbital production platform, ostensibly because like Zero Ray only operates in space, doesn't keep any of its holdings on land for tax reasons.
Love it.
And so I think we see, Red Planet silhouetted big in the background, and it is you get a lot of the feeling of like aircraft carrier / factory in space, right? So you're seeing like, even as you come in, like there are like thousands of mechs strapped down to the outside of this thing. There are long like munitions platforms. There are interior spaces that we see kind of like fighter wings and other stuff inside of. So we just get a sense of this thing constantly churning out new weapons to deploy. And there's space smoke. It doesn't make any sense for there to be smoke in space, but there's the obvious like haze of production detritus that kind of floats around this space. Kind of
machine.
For the ambiance,
polluting
I
the
love it.
void, right? Yeah.
I love that. And like taking advantage of the low gravity to like just build these massive, just absolutely bonkers machines.
Yeah.
And we're coming a small faction of us, a ragtag group of fools, are like coming in to ideally to like steal some of these guys, but like I think given that it's this orbital platform, if things get hairy, the plan is just to cut these fools loose and let them go into space. Like it's kind of, if we can't have them, nobody should. But also like we don't really want them that bad. We just don't want other people to have them. So I think the initial approach is like probably trying to be stealthy. We're trying, but they're big robots in space, y'all. So it would not be terribly unheard of for us to get seen on the way in, except for the fact that there are negotiations happening inside, it seems. So maybe there's production
things. When this breaks out, like when this heist happens, like we are in like test machines, or is this like we've done testing and we are inside, just kind of like overseeing the transfers?
Yeah, I was sort of, I could imagine that we finished the testing, right? We're happy with it. We are now getting like wined and dined by Slice. Getting upsold, maybe.
Yeah, we see the cutscene of you blowing on your mech blowing on the giant mech gun that we've been testing out, that for some reason smokes off the end of it for no apparent reason. It's just weapons that your mechs can pick up. That's just like we've kitted everybody out so far that we're like, but what if you could hold a sword, right? Like what if what if instead of just shooting a gun, you could pick up a gun, shoot it, throw it, and then keep on shooting with your normal weapons? It's all upsells at this point in time.
I love this. So you guys are like still in your mechs, just like trying out all these cool add-ons.
Well, no, I think they said they had already done that, right? So like we see that, and then we zoom back through a TV screen of the recordings of this happening, as we are nearby in some sort of conference room, like all of our like maybe mechs in the background as part of that process.
Reviewing the tape is what it sounds like based on that. Like, you're like, look at how cool you were doing that. You want.
I've got all the best camera angles set up.
And there's like a live camera in the corner that nobody's looking at, but there's like resistance guys are just like spider monkeying on all of these things and just messing stuff up in the background.
And maybe even as y'all are like coming in, you see like smoking wreckage on the surface of this where they've just demolished stuff.
Yikes, I love it.
But yeah, I think you see us talking, but this is a daring heist, so it's not about necessarily what we're talking about so much as that's just fictionally where we happen to be at.
I mostly wanted to be on
you've caught us.
I do think that in the replay, like there is a lot of like there's a lot of side by sides. Like you know, your whole team is here, but the vast majority of it is like side by side, not overt, but pretty like goading comparisons of each of yours performance in the test process. I'm looking at moves right now. Sorry.
Oh yeah, right. And words.
Right.
What?
I got like a pitch for like something because if Slice is there, right, and I think Justin's gonna like sign up and say, "Hey, long time no see."
Yeah, you did pretty good out there. It's good to see you also.
No, I did great. I would have done better if you didn't like give Sprig all like the cool new stuff.
We tried the same stuff. What are you talking about?
Shh.
I mean,
I saw the other energy readings. Yours were tuned like yours were definitely like overtuned.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Back at it.
I mean,
How's it
look,
going?
look, it's good. It's good to see you both. Like, it seems like not much has changed. You know, but like, you know, if you're looking for something a little bit beefier, you tell me what you want. Just when I can, you know, we can come up with something special just for you.
Oh
Just
yeah,
when you could
yeah.
fly my mech. We could trade mechs for a day if you want to see if it's overtuned. I promise. Same stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right.
Here, look at this clip where I hand you the gun. Pull that one back up.
Oh yeah, this one, like, oh yeah, I loved that. It was a really cool move, and then like it's like you shoot something, seamlessly toss it over, and like it starts. There's a little bit of a bobble before it catches it. Like yeah, it was. I mean, the fact that there was only one target left after you had taken out 5, I guess, does make it a little bit hard to compare.
The problem is you didn't have enough targets to shoot at.
You know, fair point. I mean, I guess, you know, I'll talk to the person whose job it is to set up targets to make sure there's a little bit more of an equal footing next time.
Right, because I'm confident Justin would have taken out at least 6.
Yeah.
Easy.
So I think we can do Birds of the Battlefield because like, I feel like I have definitely changed the least. But whether or not like who wants to have changed the most here?
I think I've just hardened in some areas. I think ostensibly what we've established is that Dewey-eyed has changed the most from like near the trouble looking for the esteem of others to battlefield badass. I would say as the most change or growth.
So I think Slice and Justman can both gain a word then because they both changed the least, right? And then
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sprig should like
Rewrite a trade
adjust
or bond.
a trade or bond if you want to.
Yeah. I'm going to switch my bond to I want Justin to stop comparing our performance. And like recognize that you have your own skill set, right?
That is like the most cruel thing you could say to him.
I want to say, because I want to drive the action into the heist as quickly as possible. I think.
Yeah.
I want to say,
Yeah.
I've made a huge mistake. All of a sudden, like, not alarms, but like a very obvious indicator starts blinking and a small noise goes off. And I think that the ragtag group has been actually I think they probably like shadowed in, like it was a very successful infiltration. You just don't know. Like I know where y'all's mechs are at because of stuff that we've just built into them over time. Like, so I know you are on site. And so for me, like, I've made a huge mistake is like I've kept them here too long. And I am now putting at jeopardy like the contacts that I've made across numerous factions because two of them are about to bump into each other and I do not want them to interact at all. And so
I love that.
I've made a huge mistake. Stubbornly rely on attention. Let me look at all my things.
Right.
I think I'm gonna highlight a flawed exacerbator. Like this is I'm gonna lean on haunted. Like I do like I don't regret what I'm doing enough to stop. But I am haunted by this like series of relationships that I've created that are kind of this total mishmash of false selves that I've popped up. And so fill out the linked mech feature if you haven't and explain how it exacerbates this to disastrous results. What is the linked mech feature?
So each of your traits has a mech feature linked to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So there's like that sheet where like haunted has like possible mech features that you can have.
Below haunted, excellent.
Yeah, it's like when people's dogs kind of look like their owners, but it's your mech.
Yeah. How does your mech reflect your haunted past?
So the active camouflage on the outside of my mech that shifts the way it looks whenever people encounter it starts to change because and we can see this through the giant window behind us because you have come into the area also too, and so it starts the programming starts to conflict between what I typically show you and what I typically show them.
Oh my goodness!
Turning into putting like a resistance insignia on the side.
Yeah, right.
Like that.
I think they look like totally different mechs. Like they don't look the same at all. They're not aligned with either one. But they look like a totally. Right. It is more Zero Ray. Like y'all deal with with Zero Ray Corp. They deal with we love the resistance.biz.
Yeah. Right. This is a mech that's more aligned to one of your subsidiaries. I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah,
that's so funny. It's like putting on a different shirt.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm one of you guys. I'm one of you guys. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know what you mean. Oh my goodness.
So that my active camouflage system starts to shift and change because it's getting conflicting programming. And I'm like, I got to get these two out of here. Which I also think is a great reason to get to our mechs, right? I'm like, y'all, y'all go ahead and head down. I'll be right behind you. We'll get y'all loaded up and get you out of here. I know y'all are busy. War stops for no person. And I know both of y'all are needed at the front line. As I'm like, whatever the equivalent of the remote key entry, I'm trying to force
locking it so you can remote start.
Typing on a wrist thing, absolutely just trying to get it to not shift in the middle of all this.
Goodness. I
but at least I know you're nearby now.
Yeah, and I think I see that, and I'm like, don't like that. So I'm going to, if I may, seize the day, please. I would like to let's see, spend a word. I've got the one, so that one's gonna have to go, because I think making that wrong decision, messing up so bad in school has given Elliot, has kind of turned them into a coward a little bit, and made them over prepare for all kinds of stuff. but so they've spent a lot of their engineering time trying to find ways to mess with other people's mechs, particularly their comms. So they have this like kind of comms uplink situation that they've engineered into their mech to just kind of scramble your guys' comms, cameras, etc., and just kind of hide in plain sight in that way. So if you want to find me, you're gonna have to come out here and find me. It's like I'm not gonna be the only person out in the open, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna, I guess, steal a blood from the pool.
So you just
I
remove it from the
think
pool?
I just steal it. I don't know where I put it. I don't
Just
think.
remove it. Like,
Yeah, I don't
delete
think I don't think I
It's
get
gone.
it. I think it's gone. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, like you're not gonna be piloting mechs from inside your cushy little like hangar at us. Like I'm removing
Mhm.
that. If you want to get your hands dirty, you're gonna have to put some risk into it.
I also think this inherently like just kills the active camo on my thing too. Like it totally, which it like
It can't
just-
figure out
It's
what
just now showing. It's just now showing a mech that neither of y'all have seen, and I'm like, this is not ideal, but it's
How is
better.
he?
It's better than other options.
Who's this guy? Never seen a mech like this
Right.
in
It's
my life.
almost like this is the neutral frame, right? Like
Yeah, this is the actual. Like it's just the actual frame of my mech. No
There's
active
no
camo up.
illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this when we look at the? You mentioned that there. I think Kate, you mentioned that there was that live. Feed.
Yeah.
Is
You
that
look
when
at that
like,
life.
oh,
It is
you
gone.
showing it to somebody else today? What's going on over?
Oh, new products, R&D things always spinning in the background. Yeah, we've got some other folks coming in shortly.
And it just statics and goes blank.
Yeah.
All of like one by one, they all just static and go blank.
Slice, I think you got a problem here. And I think I would have to run to wherever I think my mech is. Leaving room for if Justin is doing anything there also. Or Slice. I don't know what Slice is up to.
I mean, I make y'all run the long way. I absolutely have a chute that just drops me into my mech. Like, and I give the same exact Yahoo hooey that I did when we were going down the slide. And
Oh my god, it's you! I know that Yahoo Hooey anywhere.
I do love maybe you just hear it in the distance, but you just shake it off.
Well, I'm uplink to your comms. I'm hearing everything.
Yeah, but I'd say this is not. Yeah, this is not an active comms Yahoo hooey. I don't typically broadcast that.
Don't typically broadcast the Yahoo Hooey. It's a
I like the
personal
idea-
Yahoo.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying it's a personal Yahoo Hooey. It's between you and your god.
I like the idea that like Sprig and I are slightly delayed, so like we see like we have to like scramble down like like oh the auto load isn't working, right? Like we have to manually unlock stuff, and so like the like I would like to see like Slice and Elliot kind of like interacting outside in the mechs while we are still like just trying to get ready to get out.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
is it like Slice trying to like distract and like move like help Elliot, or what's the deal here?
What's your move?
Yeah. I mean, I think you just, I think you just hear like you're not supposed to be here. Over comms. Like I think at this point I figured out like you're comm tapped, and so like I'm not broadcasting. Like I may not know where you are, but I know if I broadcast, you're hearing me.
Yeah. Are you in your mech, getting into your mech?
I'm in my mech now, yeah.
What's your mech? What's your call sign? What's your guy?
Yeah, so I think like there's
Tell us your dude.
So my dude is just called Gast. Gast has a lot of different ways that Gast looks. In its most unmodified form, it is. There's kind of almost a sense of like intentional design here, but it's an intentional design of very disseparate components. Like there is a sense of intense kind of lethality packed into everything about it. And it's almost like it's too much power for such a small frame. Like you've been designing mechs, so you can recognize like this thing is just designed for killing in a number of different ways, it seems like. But there's also a lot of unexpected technology on there that doesn't seem to explicitly be lethal. And like some of it's similar to what you just did with your comms. Some of it's designed to distract or other things like that. But this is a suit that's designed to basically be able to overwhelm if it has to, within a very short period of time.
Oh. You're operating like 8 knives taped onto a Roomba.
Exactly. But also one of them is there's also a walkie-talkie on there for some reason.
But also one of them's a taser. We don't know why.
Yeah.
No, that's delightful.
What is your call sign and what's the look?
My call sign is Atlas. And my mech is we're going on a theme. My mech is Nautilus, and it is playing off of my main flaw, which is that I do not want to get hit. I so badly do not want to get hit. I'm not meant to be out here. I'm meant to be behind a desk, behind a computer. But everybody has to operate mechs now. That's the way of the world. So it is kind of like, I like to liken it to like an armadillo, kind of how it like they curl in on itself and then it'll like pop up and like do stuff and then it'll roll away. And so somewhere between like an armadillo and like just an orb. It just becomes an orb, this like unidentifiable just little guy. I'm just vibing around inside of it, terrified. So he's just like sneaking under like the legs of much larger mechs and like sneaking under, popping up, like cutting stuff, sending these things off into space, like trying just to wreck shop. And then I don't know, are there mechanics, so to speak, for if we like how we recognize each other?
No,
no. You can say when you want to recognize each other. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll say like I just say you don't belong here, and then like I'll even say like because I mean like I know who's here. Like I'm not confused. Unless that's problematic for you. But I'll say like but essentially like my identity is like pretty consistently obscured. And I'll just say in another place you're not supposed to be, Elliot.
Oh snap. Oh snap. I guess I think they're kind of quiet for a minute, realizing that, oh God, how do you know? What are you talking about? And then it kind of clicks that like, you know, there's only so many people who were on this side, and I remember who you were affiliated with in college or in at the academy. In college, whatever. In fight school. And they just respond, playing with toys you shouldn't be playing with, Slice.
It's the best kind of toy to have. I think at that point, like narratively, like I think like a mech next to you like explodes in like fire.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think it doesn't damage you, but I think that's a good I think that's a good short exchange. What happens is y'all hit your mechs.
So I did want to paint that a little bit in that like this journey to the mech, since it's very much not in mechs, like Justwin is just remarkably better at this stuff. Like I'm very much like following your lead. Like traveling through this, you said we were like having to unlock doors or whatever. Like all of this, like, there's no way to even compare, I think. So I'm just gonna whatever you say, whatever you say happens when we get to our mechs or how we get there. That's great.
I think I think this might be okay. So I think this the other thing, right? Like, is that our own mechs are like docked. Like we were using theirs, right? Like to test stuff. So we like I want to bring like the bright sword. It was like docked here. So that's like the ship that we like serve on, and so like a part of that journey is also just like unlocking like the I don't know what we call it, like, but basically like the equivalent of the gangplank, like the thing that connects the thing to the
bridge.
ship. Yeah, and then getting into our proper hangars and like scrambling in our own mechs, because like, you know, in a combat situation you don't want to use the trainers, right? Or like the test machines.
Right.
And so like when like all of that kind of like bluster disappears once we get into the mechs themselves, because like once we're in here, like Jasmine knows that like you have like that Sprig has the better like combat record. And I think this is the thing, right? I think the dynamic here is that like technically I outrank you, right? Because you are like conscripted in after me. So like, you know, like I'm going through like shouting orders like, hey, get this ready, get everything, you know, like we come back in, we shove the paperwork clipboards to other people to deal with. So I'm taking charge all the way until we get in, and then like it's not like a deflation but more like a resignation. It's like, all right, cakewalk. Like, you know, this is the thing about Jasmine, is that he wants to be the best, but like he wants to earn it in a way. So it's like, you know, if you're the lead here, if you're the better pilot here, you should take the lead, right?
Right.
So like
Right. Like he wants to be the best, but not to the point where it's self-sabotage.
yeah,
essentially.
like in the same way where previously is like his impulse was still to like protect Elliot, who he thought was the more important person in the squad. You know, because like, yeah, he was happy to just be a security officer. It's not like the main like leader of the like the mission, all right? Like in the space mission back then. Yeah. I guess I think just to like kind of like get into it, I am going to try and like seize the day here as well, because like after launching, I'm gonna like even though we arrive late, right? Like we are more equipped for this kind of like combat. Less so about like defending a place, but like definitely very good at like striking where we need to. Actually, I'm gonna make a huge mistake rather than
Yeah, I get it.
because I'm gonna take charge again. No, hubristic explosion. Why not?
Always good.
Because I'm gonna charge in guns blazing and not realize that like this is just playing into their into the resistance's plan. Because like I go into like you know, you have like control over the comms, right? Elliot, you've painted like enemy tags on the test mechs,
Yeah.
on all the new prototype stuff.
Yep.
So like I just go in like I don't even like do a visual, like I trust my auto targeting computer. It's just like, yeah, I'm just painting all these enemies and like I'm firing all missiles at them, right?
Excellent.
Not realizing that I just blew up Zero Ray Corp's like entire like new production line.
Oh, don't worry. This is just one facility.
Yeah. So it's just like auto lock missiles.
You get pinged with like an automatic invoice over your.
Just every time you like hit something, it's just ding ding, just like scrolling in the corner, like an itemized list of stuff you've blown up.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Okay, so you're blowing up all that stuff. Am I able to like I let's say I want to fly in towards, I guess, where is Elliot? Atlas. Where is Atlas in the Nautilus?
Currently the I imagine there's like, it's this big open expanse once you get out there where all the mechs are like, lined up and being worked on or just held for until they're purchased and used and whatever. And so the Nautilus is just like this little like this segmented little orb just rolling around, popping up, doing something, like sabotaging something, and then popping back down and rolling through. So it's kind of zigzagging through and under these like rows and rows of mechs. And I imagine there's a couple of other, resistance vehicles or whatever. Yeah, I'm like, I know that I'm shielded enough that, if something blows up beside me, I might be okay. So.
Okay. Because I was imagining like, what if I've got this mech Silence is Golden. I don't have any features yet, but I'm imagining it is kind of almost not a stealth mech, but like usually you notice the big robot before it's tackling you. But I think Silence is Golden just like blasts through, and if we want to say that I tackle a different resistance person, I'm cool with either way, but I will just tackle the first person that I see in like a spear maneuver where like my whole mech is parallel to the ground, just center of mass, taking somebody out. Whether that's, I'll let you decide if that's.
If you want to take me, if you want to try to hit me, go off. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stop you. I think it would be funny if like they see these other people running into this ship, I guess, and then coming back out in mechs. They're like, shoot. So like I think it would make sense that some of those resistance vehicles, and probably Elliot too, I don't know if they're necessarily leading the fray, but they are the one on comms, they are the one putting the targets on, they're the one like doing that. So I think it makes sense that they would be right there and be like, beans.
Yeah, maybe you like roll. I was maybe targeting one of the other ones, but then I saw your like roll and pop up thing, and it was just the pop up in the timing to tackle somebody
at the wrong moment.
That is just too alluring to not tackle the person that's rolling around. So I do that. I think one of us should get a War's Toll here. I don't know who. Probably me, right? Or
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're taking the dangerous or harmful action, yeah, because you're causing the harm.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess it is dangerous. I guess Elliot is also putting themselves in danger.
I'm giving you both
going up.
There you go.
All right, we can both take blood.
Makes sense.
That's fine.
You need more blood tokens.
Okay.
Okay, so you're dropping it over here.
Okay. Are you putting yours in your hand, or are you putting it on your sheet?
I'm reminding myself what that means. So on the sheet, you erase a trait or a bond, and then in your hand, you destroy a link in some way.
Oh. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily have to be related to the dangerous action that you're taking, right? I mean, it probably should be, but if possible, But I think I hate this. I think I'm gonna put that blood on the bond that I have with Sprig.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily know if this is when they realize it, but they realize that it's too late to save Sprig from those bad influences. That they've already gotten him.
It's not what you could do.
This Sprig
That's me
dropped the
saying
people's elbow on the Atlas. On the
Yeah, I was
With-
like, he could be fighting with us. Like he could be, It started as like, I don't want this kid to get in trouble. He's a good egg, and then it was like, he's actually kind of good at this. We could use him, and then he's putting that same hurt on me and on our side, and they're just like, God, well, I tried. It's too late.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to take mine into hand. And this was the first thing that came to my mind, and I couldn't think of anything better. I think the connection, the link to the professor, the biggest. I don't exactly know what happened to Professor Estuary, but I do know that Sprig hasn't thought about terraforming or agriculture or the stars in 4 years, and like it hasn't even realized that.
Do we get a shot of Mars with botched terraforming down below as you stand up from your spearing, realizing that Estuary's dream never took hold?
Well, I think that's the thing is I just don't I don't even. It's like that spark is just completely gone from Sprig.
Like, it's not explicit, but in the director's commentary voiceover, they'll be talking about what this shot meant.
Right. Yeah.
In a way, I feel like that, like just Sprig not even realizing that that's gone, right? Like it's
Right,
it's
yeah.
sad.
It's so sad. I love it.
Do y'all get a moment here to like there's a lot of mech fiction where like they do contact comms, where like if a part of a mech touches another mech, they can just talk.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm in your comms, bestie.
Yeah. There's that. There's the contact. I think there's 3 ways you're in the comms. I don't. How do you?
I'm
You're
all
so
up.
in the comms.
I'm so in the comms.
I think. Yeah.
I have this.
I'm
I have
gonna
this.
look
Oh,
with-
go.
ahead.
Go.
I was gonna say I was gonna just do. I've made a huge mistake. I'm gonna grab the word attentive because I want to add a feature for Gullible. Under Gullible, which is that I do just always have like my mech, and I asked Slice or whoever does this part to always like it's just purely open comms on this mech. I want to hear what everyone has to say on the battlefield. So
Ugh.
Elliot did whatever hacking to get into all of them.
Mhm.
We're also right next to each other, and then also there's just 3 layers of we can talk.
Yeah, there's no
the mech
hiding
is
any
always
conversation.
right.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, do we?
I very much want to have words. I think initially there's just this the what the F like as getting the wind knocked out of you is want to do. But I guess there's like because Silence is Golden hasn't tried to take out any of the other ones. Firestorm has tried that, but I saw them both come out together, and one of them started attacking like they were on our side, and then you came after me, and so I think Elliot's just in the comms like, whose side are you on? Like,
Well, so just to kind of like paint that, I want to like establish that potentially that was the plan all along, that you were gonna try and get us to do that, to like destroy
yeah,
zero raise stuff.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend espionage when that question gets asked.
oh gosh,
I
think maybe those targets are still live,
to
but
to seize the day.
oh no,
I think. Seize the day. I want to do. Yeah, I want to express a conviction. I don't necessarily know this is to inspire myself or others, but all of a sudden the weapons targeting, and if I need to make a different move for this, let me know, Aaron, if there's a better move. I think though the targeting system on your computer all of a sudden like shifts and the weapons kind of take on a mind of their own. And as that question gets asked, your guns shift to Sprig's mech, to Silence is Golden, and you shoot Silence is Golden right as that question gets asked.
I do, or Slice does.
I take over. Sorry, I take over. I take over Justwin's.
Excellent.
Justwin's targeting computers, and have him shoot his compatriot right as you ask that question. Whose side are you on, anyways? Because I've built all these weapons, and so.
No, yeah, you did. You've got backdoors on backdoors on backdoors.
Yeah.
And so
I think,
so I said it, not yours, and then get blasted, I guess. That's what it sounds like.
Because Elliot's like expecting you guys to like, maybe go off on these on the targets that they've placed in everybody's comms. And I think Slice's, even your comms are, even your targeting mechanisms are targeting your own stuff, which is like whack. So either you're gonna notice or you're gonna not notice. And the disconnect is like so like, okay, one of you is doing it, one of you's not. What's happening? And then you turn on each other and it's like, what is literally even happening? Like did I walk in on some beef? Like
I will say the thing that is happening is that Sprig doesn't use those because he likes the melee. You don't need a targeting computer to fucking tackle somebody.
He's a natural. He doesn't need it.
Aaron, did you grab the blood out of the blood pool for that move?
I deleted that for your Seize the Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Excellent.
I'm gonna take one for myself. Because of that harmful, dangerous action that you made me do. Look what you made me do, Tony. I'm keeping it in hand because it's not just the Silence is Golden that got targeted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to blow up the ship.
Yeah, the bright sword.
Yeah. Bye.
Hey. Spitfire.
Yeah, I think I'm like frantically like trying to like reset like my whole mech. I never really described what it looked like, but like I'm imagining like it's more like a plane than a mech, like so it doesn't have legs. You don't need legs in space. Like it has arms, so a bit like the Neo Zeong, I guess, if you can imagine that. Like it's just there's two booster tanks in place of legs for a mech, and there's like it has like a sharp shoulders that make it look like a more like a plane or like a spaceship than a mech. I guess like a plane with arms, I guess. And so like I am like I think I'm distraught, right? Like I'm like I don't know. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone very wrong. And he's just shutting down the mech, right? Like he's just like turning it off. And you see it like try to power down.
Yeah. I mean, we do have an answer to the scene question.
Whose actions help their side successfully undermine another in secret?
Yeah.
Which I think is just Slice. Because, I mean, like, it sort of is Elliot, but that isn't that
That's not secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know that you did
Like
that.
that started as a secret, and I was like, "Well, shit! I've got to keep cover here." Yeah. Turns out capitalism was the villain the entire time.
What?
We've been new.
What?
I don't know. That seems.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Do we need a narrative resolution to this, or
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
or
we
is
can. We can keep like explaining what's happening here. But like, I think that's definitely answers the question of the scene, right? Slice is the
Mhm.
one who, I don't know on purpose or not, engineered this thing where like it looked like the Resistance's attack went way better than planned, right? Like the Federation is on the back foot. They lost a battleship here, um, and it looked like this it looked like the fault of a Federation pilot gone rogue, or at least it looked like the Resistance. You know, like I think in the debrief, right? Like Spitfire is gonna say like something went wrong, um, and
Let-
let's do it this way, right?
let
Like
me-
I try and turn off the mech and I float towards Sprig, towards Cakewalk, right? And
Mhm.
like try to like contact him and like say, like, you have to believe me, I didn't mean to do that. Someone has been messing with my lock-on systems. Right.
Yeah.
And
Do you know who? How did
it
that?
must
How could you let that
right,
happen?
like it must be these assholes, like these sneaky bastards.
I mean, it makes sense. We're in your comms. We're in your head.
Yeah.
I
Something
I
happened
don't.
with the, like they have like they must have like some unexpected new technology that lets them like take control of our comms here. Uh, in the background, we know that you know that Elliot was here.
I think at that moment, like over your, I love the idea. Slice just Jackson the replay of the like of the all the kind
No.
of sniping jealous comments into your feed from the conference room that just happened before into Sprig's feed.
Oh shit.
Oh, that hurts.
I just. We gotta. I mean, we. What are we gonna? We have to go or something. We gotta. If you don't have a mech anymore, I can't do this. And everybody's gone that we came with. I can't. We and like I don't know how we would get out of here, but I think
I
Sprig, despite all that, does like still trust that Justin's telling the truth.
All right.
And like the playing it back is like, yeah, this is who he is, but he's not. He wouldn't just turn on Earth. I mean, they're the good guys.
I don't know if this is a zesty point, but because I'm hearing this. I'm hearing that you guys are thinking that it's us that did that, and that is very fun and cool. And that is like it makes us look good, I guess. But like hearing like people's actual names and remembering that these are like actually people, and now you don't have a mech and the ship is gone. Elliot's we don't really need to make moves if we don't want to, if we're just going to wrap it up, but they're probably going to make a huge mistake, which is kind of pulling on those bonds that they still have with these guys, being like, I don't want to leave you guys here, like come join us, like we did not intend to hurt you guys, we're just trying to end this. And it's I don't think it works, but
How about this? At that moment, all the other resistance, not yours because yours is built by you. All the other resistance mechs start shooting at all three of you.
oh gosh.
Yeah, I think we can like kind of like end the episode there, right? Like the three of us make a retreat, right?
Yeah.
Right on the
and, like,
next, and it's like the
Yeah.
three of them on the run.
Yeah, and like the conflict escalates even further, right?
Mhm.
And all the while, like Zero Ray is like, oh, we were victims in this too. Look at them destroying all our stuff. You
Right,
know?
we're writing it all off on the taxes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, everybody still gets invoiced. Like, you actually both get identical invoices. You just don't know it. Like, due to your recent actions on the Mars orbital platform,
Oh no.
bankrupting the resistance.
Oh, you think we pay?
Oh, you pay one way or the other.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So, you do get to Tony, you do get to name this battle in the monument section.
I get to name the battle on the monument section. That's one of the coolest functions a game has ever had. I'm tempted to give it a horrible 90s Friends episode name.
The one where they
the one where they let's go with is it the battle or the episode? Which one am I naming?
Up to you.
Battle of, I feel like is it the Battle of the Mars orbital platform, the Battle of Mob.
Let's go with sliced but not diced.
Cruel.
Crying.
Yeah. How much time do we have to? I think we probably went over already.
Oh yeah, I mean we're right about time. If we have time to do a short little wrap up conversation, I would love that. If everybody's good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody good for
I'll skip
A little.
the ending, the epilogue procedure, because I think we don't need to go through all of that. But usually in the full game, when you play, like after you've done like enough in the conflict scenes, then you do like an epilogue, and the epilogue's tied to the monuments and the memorials. It's just about stuff that you change based on the monuments, and whoever has the most blood on their hands gets to kind of like introduce complications to the changes in the world. And for each memorial, like each player usually narrates something that they struggle with as they try to assimilate into the post-war world. And the players with least blood on their hands can introduce moments of grace where, maybe it's not all that bad. So yeah, there's an epilogue procedure, but I think we can kind of like skip that. Just I know we've gone.
Yeah,
it's
we're
quite
good.
late for you.
Let's do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game we just played and talk to them about what it was like to play that game. Today we are playing Spectres of Brocken, which is a dope name for a thing that I didn't know it was until I Googled it. You should also, because it's a really great name and a really great name for this game specifically. With that said, it's Aaron Lim. Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about Spectres of Brocken.
So I'm Aaron Lim. I did design tabletop games, and you can find all of them on at ehronlime.itch.io. That's where you can find most of my stuff. And I'm at ehronlime, Aaron Lime, at most social media as well. And Spectres of Brocken is a GM-less role-playing game about making friends and then going to war against them in giant robots years later. That's like loosely based on like the belonging outside belonging, no dice, no masters system. Yeah, that's me.
Cool. I had a blast playing, but let's find out what our other players thought. By the way, if you don't know it yet, this game is coming to Kickstarter soon. You should absolutely go check it out. There's a link to that in description, or if you go to Aaron's itch page, which is linked right below my face, you can click over to the page there as well. But let's hear first and foremost from the pilot of Golden Silence, the all-natural #1 mech boy. That's Adame Bell. Why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play Spectres of Brocken?
Yeah, I am Adam Bell. I make games. Go get them at adamybell.games. You'll like what you see, probably. I like Spectres of Brocken. This is the second time I've played it. Actually, I played a much earlier version. I guess not much earlier. It was a long time ago. I don't know, like 8 months. I don't whenever it was. And it's nice to see, how it's changed a little bit, and all the cool parts are still here, being very cool. I like it. I think I like games about time skips and seeing what happens later. Um, I've made at least one. I know, Aaron. This also isn't your first. Um, and they're good. It's good and it's fun, and I like that we get to set up the tragedy. Like every piece of the character sheet, setting up to be sad later is a nice touch, and everything else. Yeah.
Any questions you want to ask Aaron?
Oh, let's come back to that.
Because there's so many of them. Awesome. First time on stream, we've got Kit with us. Kit, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play Spectres of Brocken?
I'm Kit, player of games, player of characters, and this is honestly such a good game. That in my in the spectrum of games that I like to play, because I love character first, story first games, and that is this whole thing. So I remember talking a bit with Tony about like, oh, these are the games that I like to play. These would be really cool. And then this immediately popped up, and I was like, oh, I'm getting right in on that. Absolutely. I love building tragedies and watching them fall. But I loved getting to like build these characters and having that be not part of the game, but like the entirety of the game is really cool and really like unlike a lot of other games. So I think that was really cool and absolutely a game that I want to play more of. I'm very sad that we can't just keep playing forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of fun, meeting these other pilots and interweaving their stories. That's why I play games. It's really cool to see games like this. So I enjoyed it. I would love to play it again.
Did you have any questions you wanted to ask Aaron?
How did you do it? how did you build a game specifically for me? I think I know you've obviously played quite a bit of playtesting through this, and there's reading through this the book. I saw a lot of like different ways that you could take the setting. Like it doesn't have to be mechs in the technical, big machines sense. So like, what are some like other weird ways that you could take this that are not typical mech on mech violence?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a really cool aspect of this game is like the wide variety.
Yeah. Thanks for that, by the way. I love like hearing when like people like really vibe with a game, because like I tend to make games for myself. Like it's like the stuff that I want to play, and so it's really nice to like hear that, oh yeah, other people want that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a big proponent for being self-indulgent and like making games, especially like if you're going to make games independently anyways, like then go all the way, right? So this is definitely like a lot of the stuff that I love out of like mech fiction and like fiction in general. Like Adam mentioned, like I like time skips. I made another game about time, with a time skip in it called an Altogether Different River, which we played on +1 EXP as well. So that's definitely been a theme that I enjoy coming back to. And in terms of like different settings, like one of my favorite playtests, like most memorable at least, I played with Logan and Thomas Manuel, and we didn't pilot mechs. We were kind of like priest/spiritual guides for trees. So in that setting, like each of our village had like a great tree that like protected it, and like it was like a magical setting, and like the tree provides food and protection, and each of us are like kind of like the guardian of the tree, of our home base, And that was like a really fun way to take Spectres, and like yeah, it's not just about like violence, right? Like, but like I mean, it ended up being a big war between our our villages as well. So that happened. Like that part of it's still there, but like the other stuff that I had looked into it was like, oh, you could make this about like superheroes, like young
Easily.
superheroes, and then
Easily.
like later on it's just like developing into like different people, like maybe even like anti-heroes or villains, like fighting against each other, or like if you wanted to do like a more like Victorian tragedy, that could work as well. Like if you were like, you knew each other as when you were younger, and like instead of like mechs, right? Like the stuff that you have access to when you are older is wealth and power and people that do your bidding, right? Like as long as there's a way, because one of the big themes is just like, it's also like when you are younger, you don't know, you don't really know what you want, so you're figuring that out, and you're not able to like change the world that much, because you're there's still a lot of like restrictions placed upon you, and after the time skip, like the mech is a metaphor for like how much you can change the world, right? Like the scale of your reach changes. So in Spectres, like by default, that is a mech, but that could be, there could be other things. There could be other ways to amplify, like your reach, right? Yeah.
Love it. If you have a question, you're watching this later or right now, go ahead and type it into the chat. So we're happy to get you an answer, get Aaron's attention to it. Would love to answer any questions that you have. I had a blast playing it. I was super excited to play it. I always love the themes that you bring to a game. I've been very excited about this one. Like I said, just every time I've looked at different parts of it, it's cooler than cooler. It gets cooler and cooler. I do think No Dice, No Masters games really bear well from repeat plays because you get more used to it. You did a lot of really cool things with this that I like that added complexity without like necessarily building a whole lot more mechanics in. And two things that I specifically love that are oftentimes hallmarks of design work that I do, but also design styles I play that are totally different than the story game place you're playing in. Like, so two very, like, I love it when words and word usage, like I don't give me skill lists unless I can just write words down and have those be skills, right? Like that's all I want. And so the words as tokens piece is something I found absolutely delightful because you're like, you can just use them as tokens, but you can also use those as inspiration for what you're doing in the moment. And I really loved that. My teenage child wants to know why I'm live so late. I don't know. Why are you awake so late? School starts on Monday. It's in the chat. Sorry. So there's that piece, but also like there's an OSR principle called attack the character sheet. And all this game is creating a character sheet specifically to be attacked, like Adam had mentioned. And so for people who have never engaged in that type of play of thinking like, what are the different parts of a character sheet that you can start to demolish or change or influence to shift the way that characters work. I love that it's just built in as the flow, and it's really the process of building and then tearing your character back down over the course of play really is the modes that you're engaging in. I'm a huge sucker for phase play, and I love what you've done here. I think my big question is, like, we played on Miro board. I popped it up on the screen before. I'll pop it up again, which creates this very, like, cool, like, very well laid out, like, vibe, right? Like, and it's people I think might miss when you're at home how helpful this type of digital space is. But I also think about the number of things you have going on in this game. Obviously, a lot of this could just be done at home with any type of token you want, or putting the words on cards. Are you just doing it as a book, or are you going to do any sort of card or playmat elements? Because like even the ability to pull the challenges together, move them over, slide like that was all super helpful stuff from a play perspective standpoint, because there's enough aspects of this game that you're building over and customizing for a moment that I just love that form factor, but it may not be doable. So I'm just curious, is that something you looked at, have thought about, or that might be a part of the campaign?
Yeah, so it's like putting the situations onto cards is probably like, you know, if it does really well, then maybe I'll think about it. But like the thing with the situations and the prompts on the situations, the reveals and pivots, is those are super optional. Like I believe we never really use them, but I like having them because it gives people it gives you an idea of like what you can do in the game.
Mhm.
So I kind of want them to be there just so that you are aware of what the possibilities are, not necessarily so that you need to use them in the game. So I don't think of them as like really important to have like cards or something as a form factor. It would be nice, but like because I don't see them as like the way I see them as scaffolding the game is like a very light scaffold, and it's more like they need to exist, or like I like them to exist, but I don't need them to be used directly in a weird way, you know.
Here's these
It's like
ideas.
that.
Here's these ideas. Use them
Yeah.
until you throw them away, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
planting
so-
seeds as we scan over them in our heads.
Yeah.
And then,
So it's more like I guess like I'm happy to do them in that way for like digital play, but like you know it does cost more if you print cards and like
it
ship
does.
them,
That's
so-
100% why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, so where I'm at is just gonna be a book. If down the line, like you know, if people like it, I might look into that. But like I think I'm keeping it as simple as I can. Like most of the time, like this Miro board is new as well. Like most of the time, I've just been play testing this on. Adam will remember this. We just play test this on like Google Sheets, right? Like it works really well on just a Google Sheet as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Adam, did you think of any questions that you had?
I did. So am I, Aaron, in like 2020, right? You did a game a month, right? You made a new game every month. Is that the right year that you did that? In this,
Yeah.
the original version of this game was one of them. Is that also? I
Not
know it was
quite.
way different,
Yeah,
but a
yeah.
game named Spectres of Brocken, at least, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what about this, at least this concept, like stuck with you so much that you put in like a lot of work to get it to where it is today after.
Yeah. So I did this game actually started way well, not that much earlier, but like in 2019 with the emotional mecha jam. If you remember that that was kind of like at the start of like the itch games. So this like came from that, and it was very, very different. And I guess why I stuck to it is like I mentioned to Kit, is like I just like this particular setting and setup. And yeah, like I love mech games, but I don't really like playing like okay. I wanted something that would get at the heart of like the emotional stuff in like mech games rather than like the hard sci-fi parts of it, right? And a lot of like games like Lancer and even Beam Saber is more like there's a lot of like it's more about like hey what's how skillful are you at like doing the mech thing, and there isn't as much that like focused on like this like you know I really like all this like drama between like the characters, like the pilots themselves. I think Beam Saber and like a lot of the modern games support that a lot better, but I wanted something that like would play a bit quicker, right? Like that you wouldn't have to play a full campaign of. Like this or initially started as like, hey, I want to make a one-shot game. It's like, oh, okay, no, it's not a one-shot game. So yeah, like you start off with the plans, and then like you know you go where the game takes you, I guess. But I stuck to it because like I said, like this is a self-indulgent thing. I just love the concept, so
Yeah.
just kept working on it.
I do love that you write games for you in a way that like in a way that I don't. Like I write games I enjoy and that I want to play, right? But I don't think that's the same as the way that I watch you write games, and I'm always like super envious not only of your drive to do that, because I play corporate scum because a part of me knows that I am. The no, but like but you do it in a way that is obviously still also about sharing that experience with other people. Like you write games that are for Aaron, and then the way you produce them and share them and create them, like they're beautifully packaged in a way that if I'm writing something for me, I wouldn't put that much work into it. I'd be like, I can just play this from my brain or from my head with people who I want to, like, and I just love how you share them and the care that goes into them. And I think it's tremendously worth noting, like that is a beautiful thing in and of itself. And it's just one of the things that always strikes me out. Games that you get to the print point always have that same capacity. They're deeply personal for you, something you love that you want to, but you've made them something that's so easy for other people to receive because they're just incredibly well done. So I'm very excited.
Thanks.
To see what people see how people respond, see how the crowdfunding goes, all those things. You're going back to the green zone, and so we're all very excited for you for that period of time. If people want to follow it, they again can go to the link down below or the link in the description. If you've got questions about the game, feel free to ask them. I had an absolute blast playing. We've got some other great streams coming up next week. It's our 1-year anniversary of Funeral Party was supposed to be today, but I had a high school orientation to go through, so we moved it to next Wednesday. Jarrett and I are going to celebrate 1 year of funeral parties, which is a weird thing to celebrate. If you don't know what that is, come join us on Wednesday at 4:00. We give stuff away. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to catch up after con season and talk about some of the latest and greatest coming up from Exalted Funeral. We've got some other great games coming up over the next week, and September is absolutely packed. We are going to be doing an ongoing series of Apocalypse Keys with Ray, who I am very, very excited about that project launching also too. We rarely ever do extended series, but with PBTA stuff, especially stuff like Apocalypse Keys, I want to give it enough space to breathe. So I'll have a 3 or 4 shot of that. Also, as people may have noted, we do have a cult that has started on Plus One EXP. I was told it was not a cult. I was explicitly, repeatedly told by Sarah and Keegan it was not a cult, and it turned out that it's a cult. And so now we have, there's nothing I can do about it. We have a cult on Plus One EXP. So Sarah X Franco and Keegan EXC will be streaming at least once a week, usually more. Be doing some ongoing series, some other interview shows, walking through character creation with creators of systems, and as well as people who just love certain games, talking to people about GM technique, as well as doing more ongoing series along with some one-shots and other stuff. We also have Armanda back on stream now doing more solo RPGs, actual plays, and alone with Armanda. And we've got another streamer who's going to be joining us in January, who has been doing stuff on other channels, took a little break, and is going to be coming back. We're very excited about that. So keep an eye out for all the other great things. Tomorrow, we have a bunch of games going up for sale on our website that came back with us from Gen Con and are finally set up and ready to go. So that'll be soft launching this weekend. Some system agnostic stuff, some stuff based on our house system, Together We Go, along with a bunch of other great things. You can find all that and more at Plus One EXP. We've never figured out a good way to end streams, and at this point, we're not going to try. So we're just going to wave at the camera until I take us all offline. Thanks, everybody, for playing. Thanks, Kit, for being here with us for the first time. Thanks, Aaron, for coming to run. Adam, a pleasure as always. Bye.